Hey everybody, chat with nobody else's auto. Sunday evening time for a little Sunday night live chat. 7 o'clock Central Time. Glad you all came back. Already got quite a few of us together on YouTube. Looks like we are getting connected on Facebook over here. The timer's going, so I guess that means something. As always, live on two formats, Facebook and YouTube. As you see me glancing back and forth, checking comments from both formats as people are jumping on and asking questions and participating in the chat. So Jim's here with us. Charles is on. Bill Wagaman's here. Kevin L's here with us. Glad you guys made it back. And time for another Sunday evening chat. Hope everybody had a great week. And as always, a little bit of housekeeping. If you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. You'll need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page. This is a shared video from there, or the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Those are the only two sets of comments I can see. If you just want to watch and hang out, that's fine. You're great there. But if you want to participate in the chat, participate in auctions, you'll need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Michael Gogola from New Jersey is here on Facebook. Let's see. Bill Disk made it. Eloy's on with us. Brian Dispatch. Lee from New York's here. Jeff Gravel. Gary Dahmer. Definitely need some badges for Easter for sure. Scott's here. There's the Hudson badge. We'll get it rolling. Alex is here. Mark's on. Also, please check your autocorrect before you hit send. If your comment doesn't make any sense because autocorrect changed half your words and I can't read it, I will skip it and go to the next comment. Ken from Michigan's here. Tony's on. And trolls. Obviously, we usually get a troll that tries to sneak in here. I ignore them because they're trying to get my attention. You guys do a great job of running them off and reporting them. As always, I appreciate that. Be sure to throw a share out there. Tell your friends that we are on, and we are going, so they can they know we're alive, and if they want to jump on, let them know they're welcome. So, Dennis Chapman's here. Alec from New Hampshire. Scott's on with us. Alec's back. I think Alec on Facebook, I think he got skunked last week on auctions, and he's on tonight, so you guys better watch out because I bet he's loaded for bear tonight. So anyway, throw a share out there. Let your friends know we're on. Super chats are awesome. Sometimes you guys throw super chats out there to support what we're doing. That's amazing that you guys do that as well. We'll give you an Auburn badge to go with it. And like was mentioned, it is Easter Sunday. I hope everybody had a great Easter. Or just like Gary said, get them badges out. We need them after the end of the holiday. So Brian got to drive 3 days last week. That's great. That means he is back and on the mend and back in the bus. That's awesome. You guys can't see it, but Alec put up a bunch of those emojis like this because he's ready for the auctions tonight. So I knew he would be. He made that comment last week after he got beat on a few things at the last second. He's like, I'm ready for next week now. So. But anyway, we'll get rolling. We got a few things to discuss in open chat. We got a super cool promo model right over here we're going to look at. We're going to do some badges and emblems, and then we're going to start with the first portion of the news segment. Norma's here with us tonight. Pete's on. A new segment in the show that popped up last week kind of out of the blue. And we got talking about a car, and you guys kind of got excited about the story. And Addie said maybe we need to do story time. And then everybody kind of snowballed from there, and everybody wanted to do story time about a particular car that Dad or I have found over the years. So we're going to start mixing that in, and we'll start that tonight. Tonight we will finish up the story from last week with pictures, and then we're going to start at the beginning. I didn't figure there was a much better place to start than at the beginning for our new segment called Story Time. So we will get to that as well. Anyway, time to get rolling. We'll give you another Hudson badge to kind of think about things and get primed up. And one big thing that did happen this week, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw it, that was kind of a big deal in the car world. Craig Breedlove passed away. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that, but I mean, back in the 60s, land speed racing, I mean, that was the name. He was the guy, the spirit of America. I mean, the Beach Boys wrote a song about it. If you don't remember it, which I'm sure some of you do, after we get done, YouTube it, Spirit of America by the Beach Boys. That's what the entire song is about. Craig Breedlove and the Spirit of America, one of the first jet-powered cars that to ever hit the salt. First guy to 500 mile an hour, first guy to 600 mile an hour. So it you know, it's one of those things. A lot of those guys that, you know, we've lost a lot of them over the last several years, and none of them are getting any younger. So John Sanderson's here with us. Glad you're back, John. We got one more horn button of yours we're going to sell yet tonight, so that I got from John at the Wichita swap meet. So anyway, that was kind of sad news. I actually had to go to YouTube and listen to that myself. So after we get done tonight or tomorrow, be sure to look that up. And I mean, amazing story. You know, the guy was literally, he wasn't anybody special. He just had a dream of going super fast, and that's what he did. So that's right, Scott on Facebook. He had the biggest set of you-know-whats, and that's exactly right. I mean, this was untested technology back in the 60s. You know, take a jet engine, slap a body around it, put some wheels under it, light it off, and take off across the salt flats. Yeah. Yeah, you had some big ones to do that because nobody knew what was going to happen. Is it going to take off? Is it going to blow up? Is it going to disintegrate? Who knows? He jumped in it, they lit that candle, and away she went, and he hung on. So that didn't work out very well, did it, Gray Kitty? She tried to jump up on the other desk, and I moved some of the other stuff over there since I put the trucks up here. So I just got all this set up, so I moved it over to the other desk for the time being. She tried to jump up there, and it was full of all the other stuff from up here. Alan from Arizona. John is here with us. So, yeah, Mark, that's we've been talking about the Demon the last couple of episodes. The new Demon that just came out runs 890s at 250 miles an hour, or 890s at 150. You can order a factory parachute for them. Pretty amazing car, but you got to have pretty deep pockets because I saw something this week that said that markup was at right around $100,000 over sticker. So, Scott on Facebook says AJ Foyt's wife passed away too. So there again, none of these people are getting any younger. A lot of the legends in our world are passing. You know, it's one of those things that if you get the opportunity to go see some of these guys at car shows or events they're at, you know, now's the time to do it for sure. So kind of sad to hear news like that, you know, because he literally was a pioneer in the car world. Just nobody knew what was going to happen. They put a body around it, put wheels under it, lit it, and away he went. And that takes some guts right there to do that. So, Auburn badge. So anyway, what else is going on? Lots of auctions coming up next weekend. Barrett and Meekum. Next weekend, Meekum, Houston. Jim is going to Meekum, Houston, so maybe we can get some reports from Jim for next week. And Palm Beach, Barrett Jackson next week. The Barn Find Bentley, as well as the Cord that we did content on from Auburn Cord Duesenberg, both rolling across the block next weekend. If I remember correctly, the lots are $399 and $426. I don't know which day those are going to be. I would imagine they're going to be Friday or Saturday cars for the caliber of cars that those are. So those are coming up. Definitely want to keep that in mind. I'm sure there'll be a lot of TV coverage on both those auctions next weekend. Frank's here with us, and curious to see how the Bentley and the Cord do. So it's always fun to go to Auburn Cord Duesenberg and do those videos. The Bentley was a super neat car, and it was fun to do that one as well. Also, that stuff is out of my wheelhouse. It's not stuff you typically have the opportunity to be around and learn about, and that's what really makes it fun for me. So. Numero uno made it tonight. Glad number one's back. So we'll be sure to stay tuned to that. Hershey, Pennsylvania must have a spring meet next weekend, spring swap meet. There's lots of good eggs in here, number one. So, although we have had a lot of requests for the badge at the end of a holiday day. So, Randy's here. Clark from New Zealand is on with us tonight. Let's welcome Clark from New Zealand. Glad you made it. Glad you're hanging out with us from New Zealand. Bill says Carlisle is coming up as well. So tell your friends down in New Zealand to jump on with us and hang out with us, Clark. We have a lot of fun, so glad you're here with us tonight. Anyway, I did meet with Chris, my partner on F&E, starting to get things lined out for the F&E auction this October that we always do here in Great Bend every year that Chris and I put together. And we've also got some different ideas for some other things that we're talking about this year. So I'll definitely keep you guys in the loop as we get closer to some of this stuff coming together. But we are definitely getting ready to start ramping things up for F&E. Got several leads on vehicles already. So excited to see that hopefully start coming together here soon and have a heck of an event in October this year. Even bigger. Every year it gets a little more solid, a little better cars, a little more things, a few more things happening. So every year we keep working at it. We keep working at it. Slowly but surely it's improving. So anyway, let's see what else we got going on. That's right, John. Mid-America Swap Meet in Arc City is next weekend. That's right. I forgot to mention that one as well. Trying to decide if we're going to go down to that or not, seeing if it's going to work out. Let's see. Okay, Scott says Barrett Jackson Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on FYI Network. Meekum is Friday and Saturday on Motor Trends. So that there is the TV schedule for next weekend. FYI for Barrett and Motor Trend for Meekum. So lots of auction action on TV next week. All right. Gary says happy Easter, everyone on Facebook. Alex's 3-year-old likes the raffle trucks on the shelf. Yep. I did actually manage to get them all up there. It was a little bit tricky. You can see they're a little tight. I hope they don't fall on my head. But they are up there for now. I hope I don't slide back and hit the wall and they land on my head. But there they are, the raffle trucks, pulling 3 names out of the big Buick oil can at the end of the month, and 3 different people are going to get a truck. Weston, you come to the toy show in Hayes the 15th. I don't know if I'm going to make the 15th. I've definitely got an eye on the summer one. I think that's in July. But it depends on how this week shakes out. But I don't think I'm going to make it next weekend. What's the date on the other one if you want to throw that up there as well? Because I've seen both of them. The July one, I think I was going to be a better chance of me than next weekend. But yeah, I wanted to, but I don't think it's going to work out. So I appreciate you asking. John, was ever thinking about a 71 Charger running green on green for $8,000? Sounds pretty reasonable to me for $8,000 for a 71 Charger that runs, even if it needs work. Let's see. All right, looks like we're caught up here. So, yep, we'll talk about the raffle a little bit more, but Alex is 3 years old, or 3-year-old's already excited about him. So it's going to be a fun month. I'm glad it kind of worked out that I got all 3 of these trucks put together for all Structo stuff for a big Structo raffle for this month. Anyway, we'll keep on moving. We're going to go and work into the promo, work into the badges and emblems, since we're going to squeeze this new segment in. And when we get to the new segment, you guys let me know what you think and whether we're going to keep doing it. Dad and I bought a lot of cars over the years. We've got pictures of a lot of them. So, okay, July 22nd is the other toy show in Hayes. So I do want to try to make that one. Outcast made it tonight. Yep, the toy raffle. I'm excited about it. It's cool stuff. So we'll look at it. When we get to the raffle segment, we'll get them back down and look at them a little bit closer. So, Kevin, I've noticed a lot of cars and trucks in the marketplace starting to drop in prices. I think some of this stuff is drifting more back to reality. The market is still strong, but I think we're getting, a little bit more reality into the market. So, that's a badge. We'll see how the rest of the year shakes out. But anyway, on to the promo. Got a super cool promo. Of course, promos are always super cool. I was kind of excited about this one. This is a beautiful car. 1 year only car. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. Brian, did you know that nobody's partied for 45 minutes on Tuesday? Billy Bowman's here. Yeah, we do need to address that. I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up. I've seen a couple comments on it before, and I got busy and forgot about it. Toy Tuesday, I have zero idea what happened. I brought this thing up. I got it all ready. I hit go live, and it started to connect, and then it said lost signal, and the screen went blank. Then it came back. So then I was trying to talk to you guys. Then it went gray. And then it came back. So finally, I figured there is something seriously wrong. Now, I've been having a ton of trouble with my phone. I got this thing in November, middle of November, and I am not happy with it. It is a 14 Pro. It was 256 gig 14 Pro. Supposedly the best thing they've got on the market. The newest, the most memory, the best you can get. And it has been a huge pain. I don't know if it is the provider, the phone. I've actually got a guy who's kind of a regional guy for this phone company who's actually going to work with me on it this week. But it will not upload to the iCloud. It will not feed voicemail. Every time I miss a call, I have to manually go in and call myself to see if I've got a voicemail because it is not working. It has been a disaster. So we're going to work on some more this week. So I don't know if it was my phone. I don't know if it was YouTube. But yeah, Toy Tuesday, I could not connect. It kept bouncing in and out, and I couldn't get it to go. And I had a list of stuff I needed to do that night anyway. So it's like, if this thing isn't going to connect, I need to get back to work. So, yep, I did bail off of it, and there was just nothing I could do. It's been fighting us the last 3 or 4 weeks. We'll give it a shot again this Tuesday and see what happens. Or maybe it's this thing, because like this thing has not been, for what that cost to get the biggest and the best, it has been a huge pain. I don't know if I got a bad phone. I don't know if it's the provider. I don't know if it may have been YouTube Tuesday night. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Let me get to back to comments here. Norm says, yeah, it was fun. I'm glad you guys had a great time. So, Outcast here in Kansas, these farmers got so much money, nothing's going to come back to reality. There could be some truth to that too. We'll see how the crops go this year. Let's see. Mark said he didn't even get a notice on it. Brian Dispatch said, hey, your feed was good, but I wasn't there. And literally when it wouldn't go, I mean, I brought the phone back, was right here, had the phone sitting right here on the desk beside me, blank, nothing on it, doing nothing. So was your guys' screen out in the shop? Or what did it show? Did it just lock that screen there or something? I don't know. So Norm said, well, I'm glad you guys all had fun. So Tim Page is here. Glad you made it for a while. Jim said they went about 55 minutes. So I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, Norma says it was the oil can, which was what I took for a screenshot. So it basically hung the screenshot up there, or the thumbnail, and so apparently it hung the thumbnail and kept the feed live for you guys and wouldn't work on my end. Who knows? If you can figure it out, you're doing way better than I am. So. No, Mark, I had plenty of work to do that night, but I had everything lined out. I had cans, toys, everything lined out, set up, ready to go. It just wouldn't work. Kevin, now 2 more teaching classes and he gets to join again on Toy Tuesday. Well, glad you'll be able to make it back. That's right, Randy. Technology is great, especially the way this thing's been the last few months. Oh, it's been about to drive me nuts. Yeah, says, oh, you don't want can for that. Yeah. It's been very frustrating to say the least. But anyway, on to the promo. On to an Auburn badge. Going with another long roof tonight. A 1-year-only body style long roof. Kind of a unique car. On the 1960 Ford Country Sedan. Now, 1960 was a 1-year-only body for Ford. Very unique. You don't see a ton of them. This promo's in great shape. It's got a little bit of warpage. It has kind of a teal roof on it, but everything else is white. They actually painted the seat inserts teal, and they painted the roof teal. Other than that, this thing is all white. We see a little bit of warpage in this. You can see around the grille and headlight assemblies where the body has a little bit of warp to it, but the grille and headlight bumpers all still intact, missing one fender ornament. One fender ornament still here. That's right. It's got a heck of a slant on the rear of it as well. That's one thing that was really unique about these. Obviously, it still had the flat fin that they used on the 60 Ford car incorporated into that. You can see the slope of the roof as it comes back here. Comes back down to the fins, and then the tail lights here right above the bumper with the backup lights mimicking the style of the tail light down below. Now, you never see these cars in reality. This actually does, there again, the bottom of this is basic, just cast or just the way it's injected. It does not show much detail and does not have any separate pieces. This was a friction. If you guys can see right in here, you can see the friction gear right in here. So this actually was a friction promo model. This one does have all original tires, wheels, and hubcaps on it. And it's still really in great shape. Now, one thing I was kind of curious about, I don't know that I've ever even seen a 1960 Ford station wagon. They made, you would think, why were they front wheel drive friction? Probably because that was probably the easiest way to do it. Because it'd be probably tougher to make it look right back here where they could hide it all in the engine area here. I don't know, not for sure. But I thought, well, that's kind of an odd car. Obviously, a 1 year only car. And I thought, well, I wonder if these are kind of rare. So I looked them up. They actually made a ton of 1960 Ford station wagons. I was shocked. When you look at all variations, the country sedan, the country squire, the 6-passenger, the 9-passenger, they made 170,000 1960 Ford station wagons. So they are not rare, but I couldn't tell you if I've ever even seen one in person. But a pretty neat piece and a pretty unique promo and on a pretty unique car. Now, the real rare ones of these were the Edsels. Believe it or not, they did make a 1960 Edsel station wagon. My buddy Phil has one, Phil Skinner with the Edsel groups. They made just over 200 1960 Edsel wagons. So the Edsel wagon was extremely rare. But I was shocked at 170,000 on the full-size 1960 Ford station wagon production number. That's right, Brian. A lot of the Iron Man got a lot of them. They were big. They were heavy. But I was surprised they're not that rare, but just something you do not see. I think, Adventures Made from Scratch. Silas, his dad's got one, he told me, when we were at that auction in over that farm auction that we went to. I think his dad's got one, but that's the only one I've heard of around here. But I don't know that I've ever seen any of them. That's right. Families drove them till they wore them out. That's true, too. So there it is. Tonight's promo, the 1960 Ford Country Sedan in white and teal station wagon. 60 Meteor wagon. Those are probably pretty rare, too. So definitely a unique one tonight. Time for some of these badges. But it is time to move on to the badge section. Oh, that's right, Bill. I forgot to mention that. I believe it is a Hubley. Yes, it is a Hubley. Bill brought that up. I was going to mention that, and I forgot to, so thanks for bringing that up, Bill. Right here, I don't know if you guys can make it out or not. It says it's a Hubley. Promo models were pretty much came assembled. I'm sure a few of them came as kits, but most of them came assembled. I'm sure Bill can probably shed a little light on that for us on that side of the promo world. But on to tonight's badges. As always, we'll start off with a pre-war, then we'll work our way to a post-war card. We'll talk about that particular vehicle and look at that particular badge. There's this badge. Got to keep working these in. It's the end of a holiday. Some of you guys said you need a few extra ones. But tonight's pre-war badge, we're going to jump back into the 30s, back to Buick. The 1938 Buick, to be exact, trunk badge. Wow, that thing's so bright it's kind of hard to see it and hard to make it out. Buick 8. This went right on the back of the trunk lid. This is all stamped in here at Buick with ridges in here. And then, of course, the 8 for the 8-cylinder, they were inline overhead valve 8s. This area here is ribbed. This was actually kind of a stepped edge on this. This actually did step on here. If we get it sideways, you can see how this stepped. This one has the studs are broken off of this one, but it actually had stud mount, had a stud here, it had a stud here. This is the backside. The backside's that clean. So it does have a whammo right here. Somebody pried this off, I'm guessing, because the damage is right there where the stud is. But there again, I got this with some other stuff, so I didn't take it off of a car. It's 9 3/4 wide. So it's got a little bit of width to it. Of course, this sat on the middle of the trunk. You had to be able to see this thing. And it's 3 1/8 high. Was the Buick lettering painted a color? I'm not sure. It could have. I bet it could have been, because since this has ridges in here and those have ridges, that stuff could have been painted. I'm not 100% sure. But it is a cool piece. Actually, Dad has one of these getting ready to put on eBay. I was going to grab it in auction tonight, and I forgot to grab it. So if you want one of these for your own collection, Dad's got one he's getting ready to put on eBay. Exact same thing, only it's not whammoed. It's actually a little straighter than this one. So there it is for the pre-war badge, the 1938 Buick 8 trunk ornament. And as always, we're going to jump up a few years, actually a few decades, up into the 60s for kind of a unique car, and the first year for a unique car. One of my favorites, as you guys do know, as we've talked about it in the past. But this was the first year the option was available on the Pontiac Catalina, being the 1964 Pontiac 2+2. This went on the front fender below the Catalina badge on a 64, almost kind of as an afterthought. Obviously, by 65, the 2+2 had a lot of unique features. It had the little hash marks on the fenders. It had specific 2+2 badges. This thing actually just literally, they slapped this thing below the Catalina emblem on the front fender on a 64 when you order the 2+2 option package. This is it's really not a very big badge either. It's just under almost 3 inches wide. So it's not, not much there to it. And about 1 1/8 inches tall. So it's a small badge. It was flat, had 2 studs on it, and they literally just slapped it on the fender right below the Catalina emblem. And that was your designation when you ordered the 2+2 package. Now, there were obviously more components to the 2+2 package, but that's what you got for badging in 64. Slapped it right below the other one. So that's what we've got for tonight for the badge segment. The 1938 Buick trunk and the 1964 Pontiac 2+2. All right. Who's ready for the new segment? Somebody's giving us a bunch of hearts. That's always cool. Love when you guys throw that stuff out there. A bunch of hearts just floated up. So appreciate the support. Appreciate the love when you guys throw that stuff up there. I see things scrolling. It's kind of neat. So I'll give you an Auburn badge. So on to the new segment. Now, you guys that were here with us last week will remember this. If you weren't here last week, here's how this came about very quickly. Somebody asked the question about some of the cooler stuff that we found over the years. And I brought up a Ford that we found up in Nebraska where Dad found, I don't know how many cars, along a riverbank. A lot of them have been shoved in, but a lot of them had not been shoved in. They'd been drug out there. They were drug out on their roofs, flipped over and drug down the road on the roof because they would drag smoother, lined up along the river, along the edge of the pasture, and then they shoved them in when they needed to. But a lot of them never got shoved in. And there was a 1944 Deluxe Coupe up there that had, yeah, story time with Uncle Chad. That had some really weird features about it. Now, it was just the body, the doors, and the trunk lid. No frame, no front clip. But it was a 40 Ford Coupe, 40 Ford Deluxe Coupe. And, but there was some stuff that just didn't add up about it. It had some cool hand painted designs on the dash, had like spider webs and stuff painted on the dash. Had a port for air shocks on it, right? Like on the top of the quarter panel, kind of a weird spot to have air shocks. But the really weird part about it was there's a big rectangle cut out of the trunk floor. Which seemed kind of odd. And my guess is it run shine, is what my guess was. I could be completely wrong, but it had some weird features. It had some cool graphics. It had a big hole, not just like, it wasn't a rust hole. It wasn't just chopped in. I mean, it was cut in a perfect rectangle in a certain spot, and it was kind of forward in the trunk, like closer to the rear end, like for, so it wasn't hanging clear out off the back. So your weight was up over your rear axle type of thing, So we talked about that car, and then Addie made the comment about maybe we should do story time, and then a lot of you guys like the idea. So you guys tell me after we get done tonight if we want to keep doing story time. We have hundreds of cars that we've bought over the years to talk about and show you pictures of. So we'll get this one, and then we're going to go back to the very beginning for the next one. So we're going to finish up what started story time, and then we're going to start the segment off at the beginning. So the 40 Ford Coupe body, here it is. There's the 40 Ford Coupe body that we found along the river up in Nebraska. Tim's ready for some more story time already, so. Yeah, this was almost 20 years ago, so these are actual pictures. So. And yes, these are authentic bullet holes. I hope you guys can see all these. This has been long gone. Like I said, this was almost 20 years ago, so it's been long gone for years. Now, there were a few comments about fuel cell or dump tank. Well, I don't think if you were racing it, you probably didn't need a fuel cell quite that big. If you wanted to get as much shine in that thing as possible, you needed a fuel cell, you needed a dump tank that big. Tony says the picture's showing up great. Perfect. Thanks. So, yeah, that fuel cell would have been bigger than the stock gas tank. And this picture kind of shows you how far forward. See, here's the back of the car. See how far forward. They didn't cut it back here along the back. It was cut way up. So your weight was up towards the rear axle. That's enough shine for 1,000 Auburn badges. Yeah, there we go. So there she is. That's what didn't make sense to me. And I agree with Shopcat as well. Any piece of old metal has a story, and maybe not a Camry. I agree. I end up with some Camrys, and they go straight to the stack. Toyotas, Hondas, Nissans, that's what the stack of iron is for. No, Alec, there was not a frame in it. We did find a frame for it that we sold with it, but yeah, but even after Prohibition, a lot of those guys were still doing it to make money. That's what they were doing to make a living, and they weren't licensed distillers. They didn't charge tax on it. So even though it was after Prohibition, they were still running shine illegally because that's what they were living on. There was not enough left of it to to see where there was no interior left in it to see where the release lever would have been. But I do have one shot of the dash. I told you the dash had some cool stuff on it. Check that out. That stuff was all hand painted on the dash. So there you have it. The 1940 Ford Coupe that we found along a river up in Nebraska that we believe, guessing should have been, we think was a shine runner. That's right, Randy. ATF still busy today for seeking untaxed liquor. That's completely correct. Now I've actually got pictures of where this was found, but I don't know where those pictures are at because we got a 42 Ford Coupe, we got this 40 Ford Coupe, we got a 50 Chevy convertible, and a couple other cars out of this section. I don't know how many cars we pulled out of there, but I know there was a 40 Ford pickup we hauled home, a 36 Ford Coupe, 47 Ford Woody. We pulled a lot of cool stuff out of there. So one of these days I'll come across those pictures as well, and I'll share those with you. But there she is, the 1940 Ford Coupe. And if you look real close, right here was a port, like a Schrader valve port, like for air shocks. Right there on that side of the car. Now, these pictures I knew where they were at, but I've got tons and tons of pictures from the years we've been doing this. So we'll go ahead and kick the segment off now. That's finishing up last week's what started this thing. And then as I got to thinking about this week, trying to decide how we wanted to go about this. That's right, were the bullet holes after getting caught or chased? I don't know. Who knows? That's right. Joe says there's an area near him with a bunch of cars along the creek that were used to combat erosion. That was pretty common back in the day. If you guys didn't catch the river car videos that I've done some of that. I know where there's more of them at that I haven't gotten to yet. But we've done some river car videos and we've got more on the way. So keep that in mind that was pretty common back in the day. But anyway, to kick this segment off right, as far as a story time about a particular car, I thought the best way to do it, if we're going to continue to do this, was to start at the beginning. So, that's right, Shopcat. The only reason for air shocks to be extra weight in the shine tank. If you're raising the back for racing, it wouldn't just be stuck on the outside. So, but anyway, going back to the beginning, what started this? Everything, basically. What started it? I get that question a lot. What started it? Well, since we're doing story time about old cars, I thought, let's go back to the beginning and start right there. We're going to start off with one of the first cars that my dad ever built. Michael already says keep doing it. His first car was a 57 Ford. He fixed it up a little bit and then he sold it because he wanted, this is in the mid 60s, that what a lot of people wanted back then. He wanted a 57 Chevy. So he sold the 57 Ford, he bought a 57 Chevy. He's got one picture of the car. That's all he had. And we're going to share it with you. We're going to share some of the story about the car as well. But this is where it all started, I guess. If you want to put back where it all started, was back in the mid 60s when Dad was about 15. And not a good picture, but it's the only picture he had. And he got it the day he actually took this picture the day he got rid of the car. So it was kind of, kind of odd that the only picture he's got. But fortunately, he did remember to get this picture before it left that day. And here it is. Here's the one that started everything. Dad's first 57 Chevy. Now, the reason he knows that this is the last day he owned this car is right here is the 61 Bonneville convertible that he traded it in on. So there was his new 61 Bonneville convertible, and it was already in the driveway. And And this was sitting in front of the house. So fortunately, he remembered to take it. Now, when he bought this car, it was a pink 57 4-door, and it was 283 Glide, just your basic 4-door 57 Chevy. Well, the Glide didn't last long. He blew it up, so he got a hold of a 3-speed manual and put a Hurst floor shifter in it and put the 3-speed behind the 283 with a heavy-duty Corvette 11-inch clutch, and so it was ready to go. Well, then somehow or another, the 283 expired. So after the 283 blew up, he didn't have another 283, and it was hurt pretty bad, but he found a 55 Chevy with a 265 in it. So he got the 265 out of the 55 and rebuilt it, put it in with the 3-speed. And he said, with that 3-speed, and he also put I think he said he put a 370 rear end in it too. So with that 3-speed and 370 gears, you could manage that small block pretty well. And Doug's here with us. He said one night, the car was still pink after he got it back together and running. And he was racing a 56 Chevy on a side street in Russell, Kansas, which is where he grew up. Well, there was some blinking red lights that popped up, and they decided they probably better vacate the area. And he'd been planning on painting the car anyway. And at that point, probably figured it was probably a good time to paint the car since they were already looking for him. He didn't like the pink. And so he pulled it in the garage that night. And the next time he backed it out of the garage, it was the mid-60s Chevy Corvette Nassau Blue, which is a great blue, which is how we see it here. So that's kind of the story of how it all started. The Power Glide blew up, so he put the 3-speed in it. The 283 blew up, so he built the 265. And then when the Camaros came out in end of 66, beginning of 67, he knew a guy that got a brand new 67 SS Camaro with a 350 in it. And the first thing that guy did was pull the top end off the motor and put all aftermarket stuff on. So he bought that 4-barrel setup off of that 67 Camaro, and I think even the cam and the manifolds and everything, and swapped it all onto this 265. He said that really woke that thing up. So he had it for a few years. He did wreck it once, and then had to buy another 57 Chevy to get a front end for it. Had to straighten the frame horn in the garage with a hydraulic jack and a 2x4. But that's what you did back then. When you didn't have a lot of money and you were a kid and you had to fix it, that's what you did. So there it is. And he traded it off in 68 for spring, early summer of 68 for the 1961 Bonneville convertible we see right here in the background. But there it is. The one, I guess, that started it all. The very first car that my dad ever fixed up when he was 15, 16 years old, the 1957 Chevy, and now in Nassau Blue. And back then, there were a few, Hurst wheels were coming out, things like that. But you had to have big bucks to afford that. Most people couldn't afford aftermarket wheels, so painted steel wheels, white wall tires, that was the look back then. So that's how it all started, I guess. What did he pay for it? I don't remember what he paid for it. I don't know what he said, but initially what he paid for it. But there it is, the one that started it all. Dad's first 1957 Chevy 4-door that he ended up swapping out into a 265 with a 3-speed. Had it for a couple years and traded it in on this 61 Bonneville convertible. So there we go. Yeah, a lot of that stuff was by today's standards. It was nothing by today's standards, but when you're making 75 cents or $1 an hour, a couple $100 is a lot of money. So Alec liked the story. Kevin liked it. Tim, Mark, lots of comments on it that everybody liked the story. Colorado Memorial. So anyway, that's kind of how I see this segment going. You guys tell me. I get a couple pictures of a car that we found over the years, and we talk about it for a few minutes. I'll tell you the story about how we found it, what happened to it, what we did with it, things like that. Some will be cars that we built, some will be cars that we've sold, some will be cars that we kept, some of them, just all kinds of various stuff. So you guys tell me. That's how I see this part going. You tell me if we want to keep doing it. So Um, lots of votes to already keep doing it. So actually a lot of votes and nothing so far, nothing negative. So, okay. Nothing, nobody thinks it was a waste of time apparently. Cause I've got a pretty steady, a real steady stream on YouTube going to keep it. And the guys on Facebook seem to like it as well. So we'll keep doing it. We'll keep working it in. I'll try to manage the time, so we don't waste too much time on it. But we've got hundreds and hundreds of stories. There's no doubt about it. We've been through a lot of cars over the years. We can do cars in the yard. We can do cars. Like I said, we've been through so many cars in the last 60 some years that between what Dad's done and then when I started and what we've done in the past. So that we got all kinds of stuff. So glad you guys like it. We'll keep doing it. This show is for you guys. So Dad said he thinks he paid $375 for that car originally, and he had to make payments on it. So there's the answer to what he thought he paid for it. He thinks he was $375, and that was when he first bought it, when it was pink with a 283 and a glide in it. So it was $375, and he had to make payments on the $375 when he bought it. So, all right, glad you guys like it. We'll keep doing it. That's right, Mark. It is now auction time, and we'll keep working on that new segment. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, what do we want to do? We got all kinds of cool stuff. As usual, we'll start off with something small. We'll give you some badges to be thinking about it. Get my notepad dug out here. And as always, we'll go through the rules and talk about what we're going to do. I'm going to get some notes made here and get ready to boogie. That's right, Joe. 40 hours a week at 75 cents is $30 a week. So, yeah. So $375 was a lot of money. Thanks, Tony. I appreciate that. Tony says I do a great job on the show. I try, guys. I really work hard at this. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it and having fun. When I build this every Saturday night, I got out of here at 10 after 1 this morning. So that's right, Mark. That was before taxes. That's another good point. But as always, we'll start off with an item. We'll look at it. We'll check the condition. We'll show you any damage. We'll give you some dimensions on it. We'll talk about it. We'll look at it. We'll flip it around. We'll discuss it. We'll cuss it. At any point in time as we're doing that, yep, Doug, we got cans tonight. We got cans, caps, emblems, badges, hood ornaments. We got a little bit of everything you guys love. As we're describing this, if you're interested in it, go ahead and throw a bid out there so I know that that you guys have some interest in it, so that I know we're ready to go on that particular piece. Sometimes there's something I find that I think is cool that you guys don't think is cool. But after we get done with the description on it, I will start the timer on my phone. We will go 2 minutes. I will tell you when 1 minute has passed, and I will tell you when 1 minute 30 seconds has passed. Everybody has a delay depending on your device, phone, smart TV, computer, laptop, tablet, any of that stuff, and your service provider. So you will have a delay. And when I tell you 1 minute 30 seconds has passed, that means we're probably just about done. Now, to help everybody out on the first couple items, I read all the bids as I see them, because all I can do is go based off what I see. I know sometimes you guys see bids well before I do, but I have to go off of what I see. It's the only way I can do it and be fair to everybody. That's right, Tim. The timer is working. So when I tell you that minute 30 has passed, if it's something you're really after, it's time to be thinking about your maximum bid. We got some of you guys are really good. Eloy is so good, is so tight. He's missing a few by 2 seconds, but he's getting a lot of them by 2 seconds too. So as we're taking along, like right now, I'll tell you 1 minute has now passed on this item. We are working towards the 2 minute mark. So we will do that. I will keep you in the loop on time. I will watch for your guys' bids. I will read the bids out as I see them. obviously on both formats, Facebook and YouTube. So I may read out a bid you don't see because it's on the other format. And as always, shipping is everything tonight is going to be small enough that we'll just wrap the shipping into it. Sometimes we do a bigger piece. I'll announce separate shipping on it. Everything tonight we'll just do figure shipping on in with it. And non-US buyers, you're more than welcome to play. However, you will have to get me paid, which will probably be a wire, which is like $35 for a foreign wire into my bank. And then you will be responsible for non-US shipping. Reason being, this program kind of feeds itself. What the money this generates, I look for more cool stuff to add back to the boxes to add to your guys' collection. If we spend several $100s shipping a couple packages overseas, that's not fair to everybody else. But if you have any questions, accept PayPal, friends and family, check, money order, Western Union, cash if you're close, you want to pick it up, whatever you guys want to do. And I'll get her on the way to you. So if you've got any questions, not sure what's going on, not sure how to do it, and you want to play along, go ahead and throw a bid out there and call me tomorrow. Not a big deal. My number's in the description part of these videos, so call me tomorrow. We'll get it figured out and get it taken care of. No big deal whatsoever. No credit cards or change. That's right, Mark. Appreciate that, Mark. Keep full dollar increments. I don't care if you just bid $1 or if it's 10 and you bid 11. I don't care. Just make it in full dollars. Eloy is ready to go. Eloy's like, let's do it. Let's go. As always, we start off with a couple of smaller pieces just to kind of get everybody's feet wet, figure out where their delays are at, things like that. So we've been starting off with some matchbooks. So we're going to do a couple of cool matchbooks tonight. Not car ones, but one of them actually does have a car on it. A couple of laundry ones because the graphics are so cool in this stuff. This Fox Square Laundry. I got a whole box of these matchbooks because I had a bunch of cool car ones in them. So that's right, Joe. I always try to send it out quickly. It just depends on how things are going. But yeah, PayPal, friends and family, I always get them out as soon as I can. So the only thing I'm waiting on I've got Big Job's package, but I haven't had time to dig his address out. That's the only thing I'm waiting on right now to ship. So Fox Square Laundry, Midwest Laundry and Dry Cleaners. This thing has amazing graphics on it. So yeah, appreciate that, Joe. The Schumacher Funeral Home. Yeah, we got some odd duck matchbooks tonight. And the J.J. Moran Funeral Home. But what's cool about this one is back in the day, a lot of the funeral homes also ran the ambulance service. Yep, that's fine, Doug. Money order is not a problem. No big deal whatsoever. My mailing address is in the description as well. So kind of some odd duck matchbooks to start us off tonight. So what do you guys think? Like I said, I got all this whole box of matchbooks. There's a lot of different stuff in them. Does anybody like these, even though they're not car stuff? They got cool graphics, so that's why I thought we'd throw them up here. Plus, it's something cheaper and smaller to get us rolling. Alex is starting us off at 5. Tim says their funeral home still runs the ambulance service. That's cool. Mark at 15. Brian at 5. Mark at 15. Let's get this thing live on the timer. It's just amazing the artwork that went into these things for, they were matchbooks. I mean, literally, that's what they were. But back then, you didn't have a video you could throw up there. So stuff like this with cool colors and beautiful artwork is what the only way you could get somebody's attention back then. Mark at 15, coming up on the 1 minute mark. Appreciate that. Hitting the like button, guys. There's 1 minute. Mark at 15. Minute 20 has passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. $20 seconds left to go. Coming down to the wire on this one, Mark at 15. Eloy at 16. And that did it. Eloy's already on fire tonight. Eloy at 16 at about 1:56 in time. So looks like Eloy's already getting sighted in. All right, how about a can? Another one of these 1 pound grease cans. I love these things. They're just such a great size, great display piece. This one has some scuffs and scratches, but still has good color. That's right, Clark. Eloy has a fast trigger finger. I mean, last week, he got a lot of them in that 156 to 159 window, but he also had just as many that came in at 201, 202. So the fact that he got that one, the first item out with about 156 on the clock, phew, yeah, he might be on tonight. So need to switch the trucks around so you can see Heather better. Okay, we'll do that next week. We'll shuffle them up a bit. But let's do another can. These 1 pound grease cans, great little display pieces, smaller than a quart. And this is a Wanda grease. Blue background, red and yellow letters. Wanda on both sides. Has the original cap on it. Metal can, we can still see the seam right here, the original seam right here. It is empty, thankfully, so it doesn't weigh a full pound anymore. Like I said, these are a little smaller than a quart, 4.5 by 3 1/4. So 4.5 tall, 3 1/4 across the top. Mark at 12 on the little Wanda can. These are great little display pieces. This one does have some dings and dents, but they're just a nice little size. I really like them. Let's get it live. Mark starting us off at 12. So many people neglected greasing their Wandas. Yep. Dennis at 16. So scuffs and scratches, but still presents well, has good color, cool piece. So like I said, these are just a nice size can. I guess I can't show you a quart because if I showed you a quart, I'd be giving away one of the next auction price pieces. Mark at 17. And there's the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has passed. Mark at 17. This one said, actually, I think it was supposed to be water pump grease. You guys can make it out. They would stamp right here what it was for. And it says pump, and I think this was water originally. So Alec at 19 on Facebook. Alec at 19. Minute 30's passed. Dennis at 19. I had Alec first. Mark at 20. 20 seconds left to go. $10. Alan's here. Mark at 20. And that does it. Mark at 20. And then Alex 21 pops back up over here now. So. How about a hood ornament? We haven't done a hood ornament in a while. We've got a few of them in the box. This doesn't have much left of the chrome, but it's not busted up, so that's kind of cool. It actually has a nice weathered patina look to it. Great display piece. 1951 Chevy hood ornament. See, it's got some pitting and the chrome is thin, but definitely the rocket ship of the era for a hood ornament. It is pop metal. It does have some weight to it. The wings are solid. It's got, some cutouts here. The nose up here is solid. It is very front heavy as well. No chips or breaks, just faded chrome and pits in this 51 Chevy car hood ornament. Yeah, it is a decent sized piece. I'm going to give you some dimensions on it. Yeah, this is a weapon. All this weight up here, because this is I think it's solid up here. You hold it back here, you get a good swing at it. You'd know that. That's for sure. It's even got a little, like a jet intake nub on the front. Rusty starting us off at 10. Guy the Car Guy is here. It is 16 inches long. And it has a wingspan of about 6 1/4. So it's about 16 by just over 6 here. Rusty started us off at 10. It is stud mount. Had studs that bolted it to the hood. So it's definitely aged and weathered, but pretty unique. Jet style hood ornament on the 1951 Chevy car. Rusty starting us off at 10. Let's go ahead and go. That probably won't come quite close to covering the shipping on this thing, but we'll see what happens. Rusty at 10. We are live. Just don't let anybody grab it back here and thunk you upside the head with this thing up here. Michael at 16 on Facebook. And there's the 1 minute mark. Michael at 16. Dino Sausage is here. Rusty at 20. Rusty James at 20. And there's the minute 20 mark. There's the front of it coming straight at you. Minute 30 has passed. We're coming down to the wire on this. Rusty at 20. Michael at 24. 20 seconds left to go. Mark at 21, but I've got Michael at 24 on Facebook. 10 seconds left. Michael at 24. And that does it. Michael at 24. Eloy had some bids in there. They must have been hung up because they just popped up, but still we're under the 24 on Michael. I haven't done a hubcap yet tonight. We got some cool caps tonight, too, by the way. Eric Roseberry's here. How about something for our Ford fans? We just did something for our Chevy fans. How about one for our Ford fans? This is a late 60s, about a 67 era Ford cap. Stainless steel. This is a pretty good looking cap. All this stuff is actually embossed. It had black paint inside of these areas, so all this just stuck out. These would have been a pretty sharp looking cap. This is peaked out here, but indented here. I don't know if you guys can kind of make that out on your screen. Ford letters are stamped in it. They were painted black as well. Rusty at 20. Alec at 15. I've got Rusty at 21st on the Ford cap. Let me give you some dimensions on this thing, and then we'll get the timer going. Mark at 24. 10 5/8 across. So it's 10 5/8 across on the Ford cap. Mark at 24. Let's get it on the timer. Stainless steel, nice shine. Few little dings and dents, but really nothing too major. Alec at 27. And I got to think about what we want to do next. Yep, they would look good on your F100 Shop Cat. Alec at 27 as we come up on the 1 minute mark on the Ford cap. Zach, Whiskey Business is here. Alec at 27 as we come up on the minute 30. And there is the minute 30 mark. Alec at 27. Tweedly D at 28. 10 seconds left. Tweedly D at 28. And that does it. Tweedly D at 28. I knew Alec had to be getting nervous sitting there that long. So, number one is in and out. You got a major egg hunt going on there. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. All right, we've done a lot of cool stuff tonight. We haven't done any plates yet. Let's get a plate and then kind of keep working our way through some of this stuff. How about an Auburn badge? That's what we need. And a Hudson badge. Why not? This is kind of a weird plate. Yeah, Q Norma. It is a 1980. It's a 76 with stickers on it up to 1980. But it's also kind of I'm not going to call it an error plate because they used it, but it was definitely off when they made this one. This is a good looking plate with nice colors on it. Check out that blue. What was weird about this one, obviously it's a 76 plate. This was the last year they didn't buy the year, started going with stickers. It has the 79 sticker on it. It also has the 80 sticker on it. I believe 81 is when they changed plates again. Now this thing, you see how all this white is up here and wide blue down here? The paint was off on this thing whenever this was made. This is an aluminum plate, aluminum on the back, painted. It is embossed. You can see it is all stamped in it. But it's a good looking plate. It's just weird because there's so much white up here, clear out to the edge covered, and not down here. They maybe got white over here. It's a real sloppy paint job. It does have the 1980 decal on it, so it could be 79, could be 80, could be 76. You took all the stickers off. Depends on whatever you guys think. It is a standard size plate, like a roughly 12 by 6. Alec at 20, Mark at 20, but I had Alec first at 20 on this I'm going to call it a 1980 plate, since that was the last sticker that was on it. We're going to get this thing on the timer and get it going. Mark at 22, FI, Finney County, which is out in western Kansas, R, 1856. Nice shiny color. See if we can see the timer in this one. Doug at 24. See if we can get the angle right, if this one will show up. Can't get the angle right here. There we go. There we can see the timer in it. This one's got good paint too. If you're a paint test for license plates, we can see the timer right there between the R and the 1. Doug at 24. Mark at 25. Doug at 26. As we hit the 1 minute mark. Alec at 30. And there's our minute 30. We are at the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left on this. Alec at 30. $20 seconds left to go. Norma at 40. $10 seconds left. Norma at 40. Eloy, 42. And that does it. Eloy at 42. I had Michael at 42, but I already had Eloy first. Norma came back at 45, but it was too late. Eloy at 42 on that one. Let's auction something in honor of Jason. Yeah, we could do that sometime. Let's do some emblems. We haven't done any badge bundles yet tonight. We've got some super cool emblems tonight as well. But we're going to start off with a Ford badge bundle for our Ford friends. 3 Ford emblems in one batch. Starting off with a Mercury Monterey badge. This is a chrome-plated pot metal stud mount badge off of like an early 70s era Mercury Monterey. About 5.5 inches long. We've got a Galaxy. I think this is a 64 grill. Good looking badge. This is actually an aluminum badge with a metal bracket riveted to the back of it. But this part is actually aluminum, the crown and the gold the Galaxy part. It is 6 inches. 6 inches here and 3 1/8 high. Norma shouldn't even be bidding. Went to an auction yesterday and bought plates there too. So we got a couple cool ones tonight, Norma, that maybe you didn't get yesterday though. I think this is 64 and a big gold Galaxy. I think this is like 60 or 61 on this big gold Galaxy. It is 8 inches by 2 3/4 on the gold Galaxy. It is stud mounted. It's like aluminum. Rusty at 20, Tweedledee at 15, but I've got Rusty at 20. All three of them, one money. The Monterey, the 2 Galaxies, a badge bundle for our Ford friends. Rusty at 20. We are live on the timer. Mark at 28. All right. Got my notes made. Need to be looking around what we're going to do next. Rusty at 30. And 1 minute has now passed. On the back side on the Ford badge bundle. Rusty at 30. Minute 20 has passed. There's the minute 30 mark. $20 seconds left. Rusty at 30. $10. Mark at 32. And that'll do it. Mark at 32. Doug loves hubcaps. Well, should we do some more of them, Doug? I got some really neat caps tonight, actually. I doubt if we get through them all tonight because there's still several of them in here. So, oh, what the heck? Let's do this little one. Let's do one of these early ones. These are cool. The old grease caps back from the teens and 20s. We've done a few of these over the last couple of weeks. I need to get some more dug out. I've got a ton of these, and I need to get a few more dug out. Oh, yeah, we did a Maxwell, and we did a Chevy, I think, as well. Yeah, we did a Maxwell, we did a Chevy on these little grease caps. I've got tons of them, so we're going to get some more of them as well. But this one's super cool. Tim's got to bail off. Glad you made it for a while tonight. But check this thing out. This is for a star. Look at the detail on this thing. This is the grease cap teens, 20s era. This is a pretty small one, so it's probably teens. It does have a split in it right here. But this is all stamped in it. This is all embossed in this piece right here. I'll hold it up close to each camera so you guys can get a good look at it on both formats. This thing is 2.5 in diameter. It's only 2.5 inches across. So I think this is an earlier one. They got a little bigger, in the 20s and 30s. So this is pretty small. So it's about 2.5 across. Eric at 20, or 2.25, excuse me. It's 2.25 across and about 1 5/8 inches deep. So 2.25 5/8 inches. Hex shape on the outside, star stamped in it. Eric at 20, Alex at 25. Alec at 10 over here, but Alex at 25 is our high bidder as we get it hit at the timer and get rolling on the little star cap. Alex at 25. Travis is here. Better late than never, Travis. That's right, Alex. Early Durant brand. That's right. And there's the 1 minute mark. Alex at 25. Minute 20 is passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. We've hit the minute 30 mark. Alex is at 25. And crickets. This is a cool piece, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. Leo's here with 20 seconds left to go on this star cap. Alex at 25. Mike from New Waverly, Texas is here. 10. Eric at 28. Alex at 35. Just barely. That was like 2-0-0 when Alex came back with that 35, but he got it in there just barely. Alec must have seen that pop up on his end before I saw Eric's bid, because he came right back and it was like that. I mean, there wasn't any more time other than that, but he did manage to sneak that one in. Holy cow. That was super tight. All right, let's do another can. Metal quart, something for our ag friends. On John Deere Torque Guard Supreme Engine Oil Quart. This is a metal can. More hearts. I love the hearts. I like seeing a little stream of stuff come up. That's cool. It means you guys are having fun. Straight 30 John Deere Torque Guard Supreme Oil, punched on the top. Gold and black. Tweedledee started us off at 10. You see the metal seam over here. Nothing on the bottom of this one. A little bit of information on the back. Only genuine John Deere parts fit and wear like the originals. On the metal Torque Guard Gold and Black John Deere engine oil can. 1 quart. There's more hearts. I dig those. Those are cool. And we've got Tweedledee starting us off at 10. Let's get this thing on the timer and get ready to boogie on the John Deere quart can. Doug at 12. Dennis, 15. And there's our 1 minute mark. Dennis at 15. Minute 20 is passed. Nope, it's not green and yellow. Minute 30. We're past the minute 30 mark. Dennis at 15. 20 seconds left to go. Ten. Tweedledee at 25. And that does it. Tweedly D at 25. Come in at about 157. Hit that one just about perfect. Zach fighting the urge. Charlotte Auto Fairs this week, and he knows he's going to be spending too much money there. Yeah, that's right. It does look like a piston with rings. I hadn't noticed that. It does look like it's got rings on top. Good observation. How about a badge for our Chevy fans? Something going back to the 30s. This is off the side of a hood from a mid-30s truck. It's been up a little bit, but it still has a great shine and it still looks good. It's a good-looking piece. Check this bow tie out. It's awful bright. But this went on the sides of the hood, 34, 35, 36-ish era. This emblem or badge is 7.5 by 2 3/8. 7.5 tip to tip, long tip to long tip, here to here. So that's what you're looking at. This is all embossed. You can see on the back, the studs are broken off, but this is all actually stamped in on this Chevrolet badge. It is bent up a little bit. Obviously, it has a bright shine. It's almost kind of tough to even see the Chevrolet in it because it's so bright. But it's a cool piece. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get this one rolling. Mark at 15. Yeah, they don't make, and actually this is metal. It's real thin, but it's actually chrome-plated metal. So, mark at 15. We are on the timer. We are ready to go. And everybody's got their sunglasses on at least. Rusty's got to sign off. Oh, glad you were here for a while, Rusty. And coming up on the 1 minute mark. And there we go. 1 minute has now passed. That's right, Alan. There was definitely pride in building these things back then. No doubt about it. Great one for a rat rod because it's been up a little bit, but still has a great shine. And you can absolutely make the Chevrolet letters out in it. Mark at 15 is all we've got. As we hit the minute 20 mark, there it is. 1 minute, 20 seconds has passed. Mark at 15. That's it. 90-year-old piece almost. So, minute 30 has passed. Mark might be getting a little nervous. Crickets isn't always good when it's kind of a cool piece like this. Michael at 22. Brian Dispatch at 22. I already had Michael at 22 first on Facebook. 10 seconds left to go. Tyler at 16 on Facebook. We're already past that. We're coming down to the wire. Mark at 24. Johnny Z at 28 was who we ended up with at the end there. It got a little hairy there. I had Michael at 26, looked at Johnny Z at 28, and then looked down and it hit 200. It was kind of like boom, 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 whoa. Zach came in on that one at 31. It was too late. Johnny Z is at 28 is who we had at 200. That got a little, whew, that got a little hairy there for a second. So, anyway, lots of people in on that one. Even Tyler on Facebook bidding for the first time, it looks like. All right. Let's come back down from that one for a second. do another plate. Not in the original envelope. In an envelope, not the original one, but I've got, I think the next plate is the last one I've got that is in its actual original envelope. So this is not the right envelope for this one, but $1972. It is in a 1973 envelope. So this was apparently taken off, the new tag put on, this put in the envelope, and that's where she's been ever since. Leo started us off at 12 on this one. Standard size plate, basically like a 12x6. It does have a slight curve to it. I don't know what it was mounted on, but it has a slight curve to it here. Obviously, beautiful paint. I mean, you can... We're definitely going to be... I think this was definitely going to pass the timer test. So, considering we can almost read stuff on the wall over there off of this thing. Backside looks just about as good. 3-digit, 311, kind of a cool, funky number. Mark at 16. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the timer so we can give it the timer test. And get the angle of the dangle right. There we go, right there between the M and the 3. And we can definitely see our timer running in this one as well. You guys on Facebook can see it or not. See the timer reflecting right there. Leo at 20 in the black on this plate. All right, Leo at 20. Send signals like they do with a mirror, you know, where you get the mirror and tilt it in the light. Michael at 22 on Facebook. Minute 20 has passed. Leo at 23. Minute 30 has passed. We're down to 30 seconds on this one. Leo at 23. Norma, 35. Michael at 28 at Norma at 35. Few seconds left. Eloy at 37, and that does it. Eloy, there again, Eloy got that at about 158, and Michael was in at 36, and Eloy had him covered with that 37. Holy cow, that one got tight too. Eloy at 37 is what we had at the 2-minute mark, so... Leo says he bows down. Yeah, that was some pretty tight shooting because Michael right over here was right on it too, with 36, and Eloy hit it at 37, and boom, that was it. Zach says, anybody going to Charlotte Auto Fair? Love to meet some nobodies in person. If anybody's going to Charlotte, let Zach know. And don't worry, guys, we got some super cool stuff coming. Next, now, Clark's got to jump off. Glad you were here tonight, Clark. We've got to do the last horn button. Now, if you guys remember when we were at the Wichita Swap Meet a few weeks back, we did the video. Jess and I went around and did a video. Our new friend John was kind and courteous enough to make us a deal on a whole bag full of horn buttons to share with you guys. Tonight, we have the last, but I think the coolest horn button that we picked out of that batch. It's the last one. That's all that's left. We've sold all the rest of them. Some of you probably already have them already at this point. But this thing's a beauty. Kenny's here. Just got home from Phoenix. And he got his pump plate. Awesome. Glad it's there, Kenny. This thing is beautiful. I probably shouldn't even sell it. But I told John if he worked with us and that we was going to go to another one of you guys. This is a horn button. Deep colors. Beautiful chrome. This thing is cool. On this DeSoto horn button. Check this thing out. This is a beauty. Look at that. Obviously, we've got our Explorer DeSoto in here. It's got red around the outside perimeter. Actually, this is the same as my sign. I've actually got this sign that's like 3 or 4 foot in diameter of this. Actually, I should keep this and put it with my sign. John says 35. He wants to buy it back. Yeah, actually, I hadn't realized that this was the same as my sign. I probably should have kept this, but I already done showed it to you. I didn't realize it until I saw it in the screen. When I saw it in the screen, I seen this is identical to my big DeSoto sign that I've got. But this is a horn button. It is got a chrome bezel around it. You see on the back where it's screwed onto the center of the steering wheel. Yes, John, it is definitely a crowd pleaser. Only I regret selling it. Now I got to find another one, so I have this one to match my sign. More hearts. I love the hearts. But beautiful piece. Let me give you the diameter on this thing, and we're going to get it on the timer since John's already trying to buy it back. He regrets selling it already. 4 1/8 across. The diameter is 4 1/8, so just over 4 inches. Alan at 40. Alex at 45. Let's get this thing on the timer and get going here on this super cool DeSoto horn button. John, 48. So, beautiful piece. Ticking along, digging some more stuff out. We got some cool stuff coming yet tonight, guys. So, and there's the 1 minute mark. Are you going to Arc City, John? I was going to ask you that earlier. Mike senses snipers. Yeah. I should actually be sniping it myself so I can put this with my sign. Minute 20. Shopcat can hear the click of the snick of rifles cocking. So you are okay. I haven't decided if we're going to go on that. Tyler's got technical difficulties on his end. 1:30 has passed. You might want to refresh, Tyler. Sometimes that helps. $20 seconds left to go. Yeah, Kenny says, you ever heard of Lexington? Could be. Mark at 50. 10 seconds left to go. Eloy, 51. And that does it. Eloy at 51. Then it went nuts. Mark at 52. Pete at 56. Brian at dispatch at 65. All after the 2 minute mark. I might need to come down and buy more horn buttons from John. You guys love these things. So, but they are cool. There's no doubt about it. Eloy at 51. So anyway, that concludes the horn buttons that John sold us at Wichita. Everybody give big shout out to John. Those were super cool. We had a lot of fun with them, and it wouldn't have happened if John hadn't worked with us on it. so that we can share them and move them down the road to you guys. So let's everybody give John a shout out. Thanks, John. And maybe we'll see you this weekend. We'll see how things shake out. But the horn button deal worked out great. We had a ton of fun with it. And it's all thanks to you, buddy. So all right. Heard of the Lexington car. Yeah, I've heard of them. Yep. I thought you meant like Lexington, like rifles cocking. I thought that's where you're going. Yeah, I've heard them. I don't know much about them, but that's a good point, Shopcat. It is definitely dry in here. We got to keep some of this going. But yeah, Tyler, if you're new with us on Facebook, sometimes the delay can be 20 or 30 seconds. So you might want to refresh and just bear that in mind. That's why I give you the minute 30 mark. So you're a little ahead on it. So anyway, time for a cap. This is a great cap as well. Something a little bit different, which is always fun. If you're going to hang one on the wall, it's always fun to hang something up that your buddies say, what the heck is that? This one, I did have time, so I did paint the letters on a few of these just for the heck of it, just so you guys can see what they look like. This one's got a pretty good shine to it. Now, these are all my caps. She hasn't. She needs to get home and get some work done on some of them, so these are all mine. Time for a cat. I can go get you one. There's a couple of them over there, so. But this is a neat one. It's a unique one. It's kind of different. You might want to flip some sunglasses out because I'm sitting here looking at myself in it like I can shave in it. I'm admiring the trucks right there in the background. Some good looking trucks back there. On this Fraser cap. Oh, yeah, a Lexington hub cover. That's cool. Sweet. Obviously from the Kaiser Fraser Corporation in the late 40s, early 50s, not in business all that long. This cap does have dings and dents in it. Obviously has a nice shine. I did repaint the letters in red to make them stand out. Hang this thing up on your wall and your buddies are honestly, what the heck is a Fraser? That's the whole point of putting cool stuff in your man cave, right? This one is 9 3/4 in diameter. Obviously bright chrome. Good looking cap. It's pretty neat and it's different. And that's what's cool about this. Tony's got a 57 Chieftain postcard. That's something you don't see very often either. All right. Alex starting us off at 22. Not much ornamentation to this other than this edge is stamped different here. It's got a red stamped in here. Eric at 25. The Fraser letters are embossed. They are stamped in it. You can see on the back that they are stamped in there. So neat looking piece. Let's get this thing on the timer. Alex at 20. Oh, Eric at 25. Alan 30. Leo 35. Norman's got to jump off. You might want to wait, Norman. We got one more plate you're coming up here. You might want to not want to miss. 1 minute has passed. 1 minute has passed. There's a don't tell her. Leo at 35. Minute 20. And there's the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left. Alex at 38. $20 seconds left to go. 10. Alex at 38 on the Fraser cap. Mark at 40. Michael at 39, but I got Mark at 40 at the same time. Zach at 46. And that will do it. Zach at 46. Whiskey business. Yeah, we're going to do a badge, Norma, and then we're going to do that the next plate is, I think, the last one that I've got that matches its envelope. And that will be not this next piece, but the next piece after this. It's the last one in its matching envelope that it came in. Alex's badge is actually what we have next is a badge. Alex is ready for more badges, and that's what we've got. Norma is going to hang around for a minute. After this badge, it's next. Backing up to one of our earlier badges, the Willys Overland Whippet 6. Beautiful little piece. Small badge, late 20s era. Two and an eighth by an inch and a quarter. This is a one-piece badge, no enameling on it. This is all stamped cast into this piece. Basically flat. It's got a slight curve to it. It was a stud mount. The stud is broken off. Alex is at 40 starting us off. That's right. We're going to whip it good, Joe's Classics. Beautiful ornamentation in here. Mark at 50. And I'm going to hold this up here close to this camera. Then I'll go to the Facebook camera. You can see how detailed this stuff actually is, how small these letters are, how crisp and clear all this is on this 2-inch badge. So I hope you guys can see it over there as well. Good looking little piece. Let's get the timer going. We've got Mark at 50. Alex at 65. Nobody's member only door frame VIN tags. I don't think I'd want to do that. It'd probably get me in trouble. Eric, yeah, I remember Eric did get one a while back. Yep. 1 minute has passed. There's the 1 minute mark. Alex at 65. Minute 20 has passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. 30 seconds left. Alex at 65 is the high bidder. $20 seconds left to go. Alex is 75. Mark took a shot at 67, but Alex took a shot at 75. Alex at 75 coming down to the wire. Pete at 81. Pete did it at 81 at the 159 mark. Alex took a 75. Mark took a 67. And then Pete at 81 at the last second. Holy cow. That was some nice shooting there. Yep, Alex thought he had himself covered, but not quite enough. All right. I promised Norma another license plate. We've got a few other plates we'll probably squeeze in tonight, but their other ones aren't quite not as nice as this one. I've got a few more in envelopes, but I think this is the last one. I need to double check, but I think this is the last one. If we see here, this is RP R113 on the envelope. RP R113. Leo at 35. We're not messing around on this one. Yes, there it is. In the original envelope, it left the factory in. It has been used. Yep, opposite the black one. That's true. That puts out positive vibes for number one. He's trying to buy an 86 C10. Mark at 50. Back looks new. Front looks new. It has been on. If you look really close, there are a few scratches on the screw holes. But that's about as good as it gets. Original envelope. Original tag. Beautiful color. Leo at 55. Let's get this thing on the timer so that we can give it the timer test. Awesome plate in the original pack. Mark at 60. Got to get the angle right. There she is. See the timer ticking away right there in the plate. About as good as they get when you can sit there and watch the clock reflect off of 50-year-old paint. And there's the 1 minute mark. Minute 20 is passed. Mark at 60. Minute 30 is gone. Norma at 100. $20 seconds left to go. Yeah, Mark said he knew it. Ba-boom. That's right, Joe. Howitzer time. Eloy at 101, though. Few seconds left. Eloy at 101. Coming down to the wire. And Norma at 105 at the very, very end. I figured she was coming back, and it was right. It was down to the last couple seconds and just hit at about the 200. Holy cow. Whew. That one got a little intense, too. Yeah, she barely pulled it off. There was not much time left there. That was by the skin of your teeth on that one. So we still got a few more plates to go yet tonight. So not quite as cool as that one. They're still pretty cool. But Joe says best show on the web. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. Yeah. Eloy and Norma at the OK Corral. That's kind of what it's been. That's a good way to put it, guys. All right. Let's do something for our Chevy fans. And we got a can and some cans and some caps and some plates. And, yeah, we got cool stuff coming yet. So don't worry about it, guys. Kind of recover from that deal. Woof. I knew you guys were going to be excited about it. I didn't know you were going to be quite that excited about it. Norma's the queen nobody. There we go. That's a good way to put it. Let's do something for our Chevy fans. Another badge bundle. We haven't done a badge bundle in a little bit. Let's get one up for our Chevy fans. Yes, hello, Chunky Butt. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I'm going to show you to everybody. All right. She doesn't want to be seen, apparently. Yes, come here, dummy. The Chevy badge bundle. We're going to start off with a little 283. More hearts. Cool. Come for the show, stay for the fireworks. That's a good way to put it, Joe. Early 60s era Chevy 283. These are little. This is 1.5 inches by 1 inch. Kind of a cool little 283. All right, Norma, thanks for sticking around for a few more minutes and playing. I knew you'd dig that. It is flat. It is stud mount on the little Chevy 283. The next one we've got 61-62 era Biscayne. Yes, Chunky Butt, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Well, she won't get quite close enough. Shopcat, there's 45 in here. Whiskey Business Garage has 8 subs. So what's up with that? Good point. Head over there. No more Auburn badge. That's like, let's give everybody an Auburn badge and a Hudson badge to think about it and get over there and hit Whiskey Business too. So the Biscayne with the bow tie on it, 61-62 era. It is 10.5 by 1.25 inches. It is pot metal. It is flat. It is stud mount. And one more in the Chevy badge bundle. Same era, 61-62 era Impala. Yes, come here, dummy. It is 8 3/8 and about 1 3/4 inches from here to here. Cat. Great kid just knocked the pump plate off. I think scared her half to death. So there we go, Chevy badge bundle. All 3 of them, one-shot deal. What year was the Biscayne? 61-62 era on the Biscayne. Yeah, timber, that's about right. So what do we think on the Chevy badge? These are all pot metal, all chrome plated, all stud mount, all flat. So, come here. You want to come here? Mark is starting us off at 15. Come here. Come here if you want to see everybody. Mark at 15. Let's go ahead and start this one off. We'll see if she comes over. Johnny Z at 20. Yeah, Travis was great kitty stickers, yeah. And there's the 1 minute mark. Mark at 25. Tony wishes he had a little extra money. Yeah, these are cool pieces. Minute 20 has passed. Minute 30 is now gone. Mark at 25. $20 seconds left to go. Michael at 28. 10 seconds left. Pete at 31. And that does it. Pete at 31. That was another good shot by Pete. Michael came back at 30 to cover himself, but Pete was already in at 31. Get these things taped back together so I keep them there and keep them all together. All right, some plates, some caps, and a can. That'll probably about do us for tonight. A couple of kind of starter plates after that last plate got kind of interesting. So these next couple plates are going to be, a little bit rougher, but still present well. Not the $100 deal, but they're, again, great pieces. Plus, this one's got a little bit of age to it, going back over 80 years to 1941. Great color, just a little bit of damage on this plate. It's been cut out right here on the corner, and it has a big hole put in it over here. Don't know why, but the paint is original. It looks really pretty well. Obviously, bright red background with yellow letters on it. Leo 30. Right out of the gate. It's basically a standard size plate, roughly 12 3/8 by 5 3/4, so just over 12 by just under 6. You can see on the back where it's been cut and notched, a little bit of damage over here. Still has original paint here, but still a good looking one. No problem, Eloy. We're good to go. I got your payment the other day for the other batch, so whenever you get a minute, and we'll get her boxed up and on the way to you. So anyway, the 1941 Kansas 58-340. Let's get this thing on the timer and get going on it. Leo at 30. Michael at 20, but we've got Leo at 30 already. So Michael at 32. So just was waiting on that one to come through. That must have been an early 20 probably. Michael at 32. Yep, 67 would be 340 would be cool for Brian. Alex at 35. And there's 1 minute. Alex at 35. And there's the minute 30 mark. $20 seconds left. Alex at 35. Michael at 37. Leo at 41. And that does it. Leo at 41. Leo got that one. Leo at 41. Kevin, I got to jump off. Glad you made it for a while tonight. All right, let's do a cap. Leo needs help on how to send. That's probably no problem, Leo. You can give me a call tomorrow. The PayPal information, friends and family, is in the description part of the video. After we get done, you can go back and click on it. Or if you're going to send a money order or check, that mailing information is in there as well. And if you got any questions, my number's in there. Call me tomorrow. We'll figure it out. Not a big deal. So let's catch a cap. We'll get a few more things in here tonight. And then we'll go ahead and move on to the magazine. This next cap, Chevrolet from the late 30s. I think this is 37, 38 era. Pretty cool. This is all embossed. This arrow, or not arrow, this line here, it curves up and kicks down. This curves across and then kicks down on the Chevrolet. Yeah, no problem, Leo. Like I said, you got any questions, just give me a shout. Or like I said, all the information is in the description. Worst case scenario, call me. 9 inches in diameter. This is ridged on the edge. This is all embossed. This was painted. You can still see there's still some color in there. Looks like the lettering was red. I believe these lines were blue. Kenny at 20 on the Chevrolet cap. Let's go ahead and get things boogie in here. Zach thinks he may have this one. It's a good looking cap. Kenny start us off at 20. $30 seconds is gone. We're going to wait towards the minute. Backside of the cap. It is metal. It is a steel back with a chrome cap on top of it. Dings, dents, it's got some scuffs and scratches over here. And there's the 1 minute mark. Mark at 22 as the minute 20 mark has passed. Alex at 26. Minute 30's gone. Alex at 26. Spelled it Chevrolet. It gets a T. It just kind of looks kind of blends, kind of blurs in there. Kenny at 27. Mark at 27. I had Mark first at 27. 10 seconds left. Mark at 27. Yep, you did make me look, number one. And Mark at 27. More hearts. Cool. There was Kenny come back at 28, but it was well past at that point. Mark came in just before you on my screen at 27, Kenny. All right, I got a few more things already up here on the desk. We're going to burn through those real quick and then get wrapped up. I was going to cut this short a little bit tonight, but I've already got a couple more things laying here. We'll finish these up and then get on to the magazine. So, and while we're rolling with Chevy stuff, how about we do one more Chevy piece, then we'll do a can, then we'll do one more plate, and then we'll get into the awesome magazine we have for tonight. This is also another aged piece. I think it's 51 like the other one was. This was on the front of the hood, but there again, it has the age to it. It's got some pits. It's got some thin chrome. It's got a crack in it right here, but it's not missing chunks out of it. It has a good look to it. Big winged piece, and it's pretty decent size. 16.5 by 2 3/4. 16.5 by 2 3/4. That's right. That's true. That's probably why Leo got that plate, because Norma wasn't here. It is slightly curved because it goes on the front of the hood. It was stud mount, went right on the front of the hood. The bow tie would have been painted blue. I think this ribbed area was red, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. Just kind of a good, neat radial block off or under a hood fuse panel block. Yeah. It just has kind of a cool aged look to it. It's not show quality, definitely not something you'd put on a restored car, but a good looking piece nonetheless. So 1951 only, front hood badge, right up in your face, 16 inches long on the 51 Chevy front hood badge. So anybody interested in this piece? Maybe you want to go with the hood ornament. I think Michael got the hood ornament, didn't he? Yep. So we're ready to roll on this one. Yep, mark at 15, just as I hit the timer. Michael at 20, though. Was that on this, Michael? Or was that on the last one? On Michael on Facebook, is that 20 on this piece? Because it shows 1 minute ago. So I think it should be on this piece. I just want to double check that. We are on the timer on it, though, so. Yep, that's right. Okay, Michael at 20. That's what I thought. I just didn't want to mix something up. Mark at 22. And 1 minute has passed. Mark at 22. We are past the 1 minute mark. And there's a minute 30. 20 seconds left to go. Mark at 22. Michael at 24. 10 seconds left. Michael at 24. Mark at 25. Pete at 33, right at the 200. Pete comes out of nowhere. I tell you what, Pete has been dead on tonight. I mean, he can't be a second the other way because it's too late, but Pete come in at 33 on that one out of nowhere. All right, a couple more things real quick. One more quart, one more license plate, and then on to the magazine. This next quart, dings and dents, but this thing is early. It's cool. It's got great colors. It's got great graphics. Beautiful metal can on the improved Texaco motor oil. This is earlier with the star, not kind of the oblong logo. This is a metal can. It's got dings and dents, but it's got great colors. It's been punched at the top. That's right. Joe says, okay, Pete, now you're showing off. Yeah, because those were tight. Now, it's got the star on the bottom here and improved Texaco here. On the other side, star on top, improved Texaco on the bottom. Bottom is intact but dented. It's got a couple small holes in it. But a great looking can nonetheless on the Texaco improved motor oil. Dennis starting us off at 15. Let's get this thing on the timer so we can keep things moving here and get to the magazine. I'll get my notes caught up here. One more piece to go after this. Great looking, old school, all metal. We can see the seam right here where this can was seamed together. This is all paint. This isn't a sticker or anything. This is all paint. Dennis at 15. John at 18. Brian Dispatch, 25. And 1 minute has passed. 1 minute left. And there's the minute 20 mark. Minute 30's passed. Brian says it's his. We got 30 seconds left to go. We'll see what happens. $20 seconds left to go. Maybe the car that got poured into is still out there somewhere. Yep, that could be true. You never know. 10 seconds left. Pete at 32. I tell you what, you guys got to watch out for that guy. I mean, they're like at 1:59 and 2 minutes when Pete's bids are coming in. Holy cow. Pete is dialed in. That's all right, Brian. I'm sure you get out here. We can find some cans for you too. So don't worry about it. We'll definitely get you some cans when you're out this way. And then Brian came back at 34. Kenny told his dad to jump on from Phoenix. So if he does, give everybody a warm welcome. Let us know if he gets on, Kenny. And we sure absolutely will do that. So, number one, good point. And number one actually might be onto something here. Pete dates a YouTube employee, and we're all on a secret 2-second delay. That could be true. All right, let's catch one more plate. Let's get on to the magazine tonight because the magazine is super cool. One more plate there again, not one of those crazy $100 ones, but still a good-looking plate nonetheless. We've done a few of these in this era, the 48, 49 era, where they're an aluminum plate. This one being a 49, where it is an all-aluminum plate with black letters. Basic stamped aluminum, nothing exotic. They went over the letters with black, and that's what you got. That's right. Yeah, Pete. I'm sure Pete's wife would probably have an issue with that if he was dating a YouTube employee just so he could win auction items. That probably wouldn't work out too well. She seemed really nice when they were here, but I bet she wouldn't be very nice at that point. 98-281, the Wheat State. This is the one that we've seen before. Kind of has the weird font on the Wheat State on the bottom. Leo at 12. Basic standard size, basically 12 by 6, embossed. Few dings and dents, like I said, not one of her $100 plates, but a great starter plate. Leo starting us off at 12. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling on the timer so we can get on to the magazine. Mark at 15. John at 18. Leo at 20. Give you guys something to think about while we're doing it. John, 21. Kenny saw his dad saw a picture of the pump plate he wanted to know the year on that mobile regular porcelain pump plate. I think that one was 60s, Kenny. And 1 minute has passed. 1 minute left on tonight's auction segment. This is it. One more minute. John at 21. Kenny at 22. A minute 30 has passed. Mark at 23. 20 seconds left to go. 10. Eloy at 24. Kenny at 25. And that does it. Kenny at 25. All right. Holy cow, fun auction tonight, guys. We had a blast. Some of those pieces got pretty interesting, too, but that's what makes it fun. And I tell you what, Pete and Eloy are, they're on it. So, awesome. Had a great time tonight, guys. Let's move on to the magazine. And as always, I will start getting stuff shipped tomorrow as things get paid. Some of this stuff, if you guys only have one or two pieces, sometimes I'm waiting the next week to roll them all together, just so I'm not shipping that many packages. But I am trying to keep things rolling. Everything is pretty much gone, other than Eloy. I just got your payment, I think, yesterday, and you said to wait till this week anyway. And Big Jobs is boxed, but I haven't had time to dig his address out because it wasn't on the sheets. Other than that, most of that stuff should be on the way to you guys from the last few weeks. Anyway, on to the magazine tonight. I almost cut the auction short because this magazine is so cool, but we're only going to do half of it. We're going to do a full-size magazine this week, and then we still got a few of the mini mags from the viewer box to catch as well. But wanted to move to a full-size magazine. So tonight and next week will be this magazine. It is chock full of cool stuff. Everything in here is cool. I haven't got your check from last week yet, Mark. So we'll get all this stuff wrapped up together. So I don't have that check yet. Everything prior to last week is shipped. Yes. But this magazine, man, like I said, it's everything is cool. I almost thought I was going to have to split this magazine into 3 pieces. There's so much cool stuff in it. Yeah, no problem, Mark. I know what's coming. But we're going to go to 1959 tonight. John, got to jump off. Any locals, come see him at the Mad Swap Meet this week. Stop by and see him. Yeah, we're still debating as to whether or not we're going to go. It's just because we got to take the trailer and take the golf cart for Dad. And I want to go. I'm just trying to decide whether it's going to work out or not. So, well, hopefully we'll see you there, John. If not, we'll definitely catch you at the next one. But tonight's magazine from April of 1959, announcing the car of the year, Pontiac in Motor Trend. Check out the cover of this baby. This thing's gorgeous. This thing is chock full of goodness. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to catch is letters to the editor. Just one or two of these. The letters to the editor section, I want to read one or two of these real quick. Tony's already digging it. One of the letters to the editor. Now we've got to remember, we've got to transport ourselves back to April of 1959. Actually, basically February, March of 1959, because the stuff that we're talking about in here was basically right at the turn of 1959. In the letters to the editor, this one caught my eye. This is from, let's see here, get my page right here. This this is from Roger in Pennsylvania. The letter's entitled Big Three, Keep Out. I don't know why the big three, being Ford, GM, and Chrysler, have to stick their noses in and start producing small cars. Why don't they leave that field to the two companies that really pioneered the big change in U.S. cars? American Motors and Studebaker Packard. We cannot give full credit to AMC and Studebaker Packard, though, without remembering two other manufacturers, Kaiser Frazer with their Henry J. and Crosley, who thought of small cars even before they became popular in the United States. So actually upset that the big three were starting to make smaller cars because they didn't feel it was fair to the people that pioneered them. But there again, that's what's cool about doing this. Going back in time and looking at this from somebody's point of view in 1959. Completely different world. So that's why there was a couple letters about that. We'll just read one since we've already been on here for quite a while, but I thought that was interesting that people were actually standing up about that deal. The next thing we want to catch, and there's some great stuff in here. We've got to take ourselves back to 1959 once again for the rumor mill. So, what was floating around the rumor mill at the beginning of 1959? Now, obviously, we saw the picture of the 59 Chevy at the top of the rumor mill right here, the 59 car. I hope we all saw that. The first thing here says possible. Possible. Though we have no indication that Chevrolet designed their 1959 car with this in mind, we do know that auto manufacturers are working on new and unusual approaches to the headlighting problem. Horizontal lights could be one of them. Thinking that they were going to incorporate headlights in these slits like that. Obviously, that did come to pass, but it was many, many years later where they were making different styles of headlights that flowed better with the car. Another rumor, horsepower will be reduced in 1960 to meet public demand for greater economy. False. Horsepower, like speed, is relative. From a performance standpoint, the ratio of horsepower per pound of vehicle weight is the deciding factor. A low horsepower engine that has to be operated at full throttle to provide a desired performance would be less economical than an engine that could do the same job at part throttle. Something else that definitely didn't come to pass, pastel shade white wall tires to match or harmonize with the color scheme of the car will come back in vogue in 1960. False, which we definitely know now is false because we never saw, other than a few red lines, and there were a few green lines and a few gold lines, but for the most part, the wide whites were always wide whites. The idea of matching sidewalls was tried in the late 30s. It was revived after World War II when money was loose. One company took a swing at it about a year ago, but the public did not cotton to the idea. Accent on wheels was a good aesthetic design and is considered important, which is why stylists have moved more and more away from fender skirts towards larger wheel openings. White walls provide a better contrast even on light-colored cars. Kind of interesting. The next rumor mill, General Motors is planning to market a diesel-powered car through one of its divisions in the near future. Detroit Diesel Engine Division's recently extended line includes a 4-cylinder NAV6 engine, which could be used in cabs or cars. It's not likely, however, that GM will use either in a passenger car because of costs. Well, there again, we know it didn't happen then, but it did happen eventually. It just took another 20 years. However, who remembers in 59, you could get a diesel in a Mopar. You could get a diesel in a Plymouth and a Dodge, I think. Yeah, that's right. Shopcat said it ended up being in a Plymouth. That's right. So there are a few 59 Plymouths out there that are diesels. Very few, but there are a few out there. All right, what else? The spotlight on Detroit. There again, some more cool tidbits of information in the spotlight on Detroit. We're not going to catch all of these due to time because everything in here we can look at every inch of this magazine and it would be cool. But the latest on small cars, hottest subject in Detroit. Now remember, this went out in April '59. Joe's Mopar mess. Weird. YouTube didn't show me you're live. I had to look up the channel to find it. Huh. And with the notification thing, I mean, that happens sometimes. That's right, Shopcat. They were sold as cabs that had Perkins diesels in them. Yep. Don't see very many of them, but they are out there. Kind of like their electronic fuel injection. Mopar had a lot of stuff going in '59. Electronic fuel injection, diesel cars, a lot of stuff that we saw come to fruition just a little too early. But the hottest subject in Detroit these days is that of small cars. In April of 1959, small cars were a pretty big topic. Rumors are flying so thick and fast it's difficult to sort out facts. As example, various reports show Chevrolet has not just one, but a number of small cars, all different. All publications are getting on the predicting bandwagon, but all can be wrong. Early this year, GM's PR chief said, to announce a small car, we would have to have one actually on the way. And as Mr. Gordon, GM's boss, pointed out yesterday, we are still studying such a project and haven't reached the point of no return. For what it's worth, here are specs on one of Chevy's small cars. Now, see if any of this sounds familiar to something that we saw in 1960. 108-inch wheelbase, aluminum opposed 6 of 140 cubic inches, giving 80 horsepower with a 3-speed transmission and an optional automatic. Performance about equal to this year's Chevy 6. Engine at rear with independent suspension. Sounds like that one kind of was true. That's right, Shopcat got it immediately. The Corvair. That's exactly what they were describing, which did come out in 1960. Further confusion added to the small car picture. Now there are reports that Pontiac, Olds, Buick, and Mercury are to have small cars. Rumor mongers have a two-way street. They can spread any talk they want, describing a car or cars in detail. If the rumors prove correct, they say, I told you so. If they never happen, they say the company decided to drop its plans. If the product does not look like their description, they say the company changed design. It's best to sit steady and wait for the facts. Well, we do know that Mercury did get a Comet, and in 1961, Pontiac got the Tempest, Olds got the F-85, and Buick got the Special. So those did all come just shortly thereafter. Not quite for lots of Dennis and Mark all remember the Corvair. Yep. So yep. Michael guessed the Monza. The Monza was a little bit later. Well, actually, the Corvair, they did come out with the Corvair Monza as well, just a little bit later. That's the Ralph Nader Special, that's for sure. So, like I said, no way to catch all these. We can spend a ton of time on these, but there's so much cool stuff in there that is relevant today that we need to look at. Comeback of electric cars, as mentioned in February, Motor Trend. As mentioned in February, Motor Trend has created considerable interest here. Oddly, some big companies have been doing research along these lines. They can see some real possibilities in the far future. More on electric cars on page 74. So next week, we've got a whole article on how they were viewing electric cars in 1959. So anyway, another, like I said, we could do all this stuff. There's just not enough time, but one more that we've got to catch. Still in the spotlight on Detroit, American Motors President George Romney is not making friends at General Motors with his suggestion that GM be split up into separate corporations and remarks like these. Not only has Jim, and the thing about this is to listen to his comments and put it into perspective of what GM was doing at that point is absurd. In today's world and for the way companies fight over market share, this is crazy. Not only has General Motors dominated the industry for the past 20 years, but in the absence of adequate and effective antitrust policy, its competitors have existed only because of the pursuance by GM of policies that permitted them to exist. Literally stating the only reason that Ford, Chrysler, AMC, Studebaker-Packard, any of those companies even had a chance was because GM decided to allow them to. GM was so big, so powerful, right around 50% of the market share, that they're being accused of just letting the other ones exist so they had competition. There was more inner competition between Cadillac and Buick and Oldsmobile and Pontiac and Chevrolet than there was with Ford Chrysler, AMC, any of those. So, Travis, see you next Sunday. Perfect. Shopcat, if you look at the trunk of a special F85 or Tempest, you can see a weird shape that accommodated the Corvair subframe. Was not aware of that. Of course, the Tempest was a rear transaxle as well in 61. So, Bill, this got to head to bed. Glad you made it for a while tonight. But it says, if GM should decide to operate at an average profit satisfactory for all industries, say 6%, there would be fewer companies left in the automobile industry in a very short time. So literally accusing GM that if they wanted to cut profits to a more reasonable number, they could put all the other car manufacturers out of business. That's how big GM was at that time. Kind of interesting, but there again, we've got to go back to 1959 and put ourselves in that position to fully comprehend that. But we'll keep on moving. Like I said, so much stuff in here that obviously we could be on here all night. But obviously we definitely need to catch the Motor Trend Car of the Year, the 1959 Pontiac, with its wider track and the year's best combination of handling, ride, and performance, which obviously we know 1959 is when wide track came out in Pontiac. Not only was it a huge marketing ploy, it actually worked. They did push the wheels out a little bit further. We saw that on one of the promo models we had a while back. And they really saw a difference in it to the point where they awarded the 1959 line of Pontiacs as the car of the year. Joe's got to go, got a job finally. Great. Congratulations, Joe. Glad things are turning back around and working out. But the 1959 car of the year, the Pontiac, cool action shot of a full-size 59. Full-size 59 is a great-looking car. Always been a huge fan of the Bonneville Tudor hardtops. Actually, one of the first parts cars I bought when I was a little kid was a 59 Bonneville Tudor hardtop. It was pretty rough. There wasn't a lot left of it, but obviously still wish we had kept it around today. But on the next page, it talks about the wide track, and it says why we chose the Pontiac. Ever since the Pontiac was announced, we have been aware of the great improvement the wider track makes in the car's handling. It was far from just a press agent's harebrained idea. Here's what we have said in previous issues. In the announcement story in November 58, in the handling department, the car deserves rather high marks. A factor that contributes to this is the exceptionally wide tread front and rear. This outboarding results in very good stability on turns while still providing smooth riding qualities in straights. In the technical analysis of the 59 cars, January of 1959, the contact points with the ground being closer to the outer limits of the body and the chassis give a squatting effect that enables improved handling characteristics. Increasing track width relatively lowers the center of weight, providing a greater safety rollover factor. Now, it actually shows some dimensions as compared to the 1958 Pontiac. Right here shows some pictures of the suspension and actually shows the difference in the widths from the 58 versus the 59 Pontiac. We'll hold this up for a few seconds and let you guys check it out and kind of see what they're talking about there. But obviously, wide track became a huge marketing ploy for Pontiac in the early 60s. But mainly, big reason was because it worked. They rode different, they handled better, and it did make a difference. Yes. Squatting Indian was the rejected sales slogan. I don't think they would have bought that one. A couple more articles we want to catch before we get to the ads. And then next week, there are classifieds in here, so we will have classifieds next week as well as articles and ads when we wrap this magazine up next week. But this next article was very interesting, actually. I didn't read the whole thing, but definitely kind of we would see it today, although it was a lot different back then. A comparison in the Porsche versus the Corvette, the 356 Porsche versus the 1959 Corvette. Both are priced in the $4,000 class. One is Europe's best sports car in this category. The other, America's best and only sports car. How do they compare in handling, ride, and performance? Cool shot of both cars side by side. Dennis's first car was a 59 Bonneville, paid $25 for it. Tony loves the magazine, had a lot of good information. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff here. You got to remember, we're skipping a lot of it because we don't have time. I'm catching the high points. But this was a great article. It had a lot of information in here, and we're going to get into a lot of it. The next page has comparison pictures. So I'm going to hold this up for a second, let you guys kind of take it in, so to speak, and get a little better idea of what they were looking at in comparison of engine, interior, trunk space, etc., etc. The Corvette fuel-injected model. So a lot of cool shots on here. We'll give you guys a few seconds to kind of study these. Then we'll get to the next page that actually has some specs on these things. I believe they were 356. The 356 was a 4-cylinder. And on the next page, we're going to get into some details here. I'll read some of these to you. I'll show you the picture, then I'll read you some of the details so you can kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. We've got some performance specs here, as well as some vehicle specs. That's right. It is a cool matchup article, that's for sure. The Porsche engine, 4-cylinder opposed, air-cooled, exactly like what you thought, Shopcat. With a manual 4-speed. The Corvette, obviously, 283 fuel injected. Actually, they kind of made a typo here. In Corvette engine, overhead valve V8, bore 3.88, stroke 3-inch stroke bore, compression ratio 9:5, displacement 283 cubic inches, 1 4-barrel carburetor. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that looks like a fuel unit to me. Does it give the weights? Let's see. It does not. It gives us dimensions, wheelbase dimensions, and things like that. Does not give us the weight on there, though. However, we do have some acceleration and other specs here. 0 to 60, the Corvette 7.8 seconds, the Porsche 15.2 seconds, 0 to 60. Quarter mile, the Corvette 1570 at 90, Porsche 19.9 at 67. So definitely not a rocket ship out of the Porsche, and the Corvette not a rocket ship by any means either. When you consider that, the new Demon runs 890s at 150, and this, the Corvette being one of the premier American performance machines at the time was running a 15.7. So not quite twice as fast. Here 60 years, a little over here, 65 years later. Top speed, the Corvette 120, the Porsche 105. Fuel consumption, stop and go driving, the Corvette did 14.3 mile per gallon, the Porsche 24.5. Highway driving, 14.9 out of the Corvette, 35 miles of the gallon out of the Porsche. Overall average, 14.6 out of the Corvette, 29.7 out of the Porsche. So definitely more of a fuel economy car and more of a handling type car. On handling, they had a comparative timer around a 3.3 mile course at Riverside. The Riverside road course, the Corvette covered it in 2 minutes and 32 seconds. The Porsche in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Average speed, 78.5 miles per hour for the Corvette, 71 miles per hour for the Porsche. So the Corvette's extra power on the straights definitely is what made up the difference of that 15 seconds at Riverside. So, but there again, a cool comparison test, some cool action shots. We'll take a look at these action shots now that we've studied the specs. The Corvette with that bicycle wheel behind it. I don't know what they tested with that. Cars on the track here. Just some pretty neat stuff. That's right, Brian. They're both worth a fortune now. Wait till we get to the next article. You want to see something that's worth a fortune. And the next article we're going to catch, which is kind of cool. Not the fortune one. The fortune one's the next one. This article is kind of cool. And the reason it's kind of cool is it kind of fits right in with what we were just talking about, literally with our story time segment tonight and Dad's 57 Chevy. Getting more go. Here in the first article on a series of customized performance are the basic principles involved in getting more power from your engine. Like we just talked about when Dad put his 57 Chevy together. Check out this dude here with his 57 Chevy, chrome valve covers, 3 deuces, heavy-duty clutch and flywheel, pistons, gaskets, distributor, headers, a lot of the stuff we just talked about that Dad did on his 57 Chevy a few years later is what this article is talking about. So kind of there again, interesting sign of the times. You know, this was pretty new at the time, things like that. So the Getting More Go article was kind of neat. One more article we're going to catch tonight before we get to the ads. And this one we're going to talk about, actually 2 more things we want to look at real quick. When we talk about stuff being worth big bucks today, if we want to talk about stuff that's worth big bucks today, that Porsche and that Corvette were peanuts compared to the next article we're going to look at. Yes, the family of Ferrari for 1959. If you stand in line with 259 other people this year and have $12,000, one of these can be yours. Now, we just looked at the Porsche and the Corvette article. And remember the category they fell into were the $4,000 category. These were talking $12,000. And limited production, like they mentioned. Pretty cool. Ferrari factory located in Maranello, where present production is about 260 cars per year. This year, all cars will be fitted with Dunlop tires and Dunlop disc brakes. At front sits at $14,900 with this Farina convertible. The $12,600 250 GT with Farina body has assumed an industrial character with a production of 1 car a day. We're making 1 of those a day. Apparently, Dunlop made brakes. Yep. If 59 is your year to go fast, try the 410 Super America Farina Coupe. Its clean, elegant lines are handsome front or rear. The $18,500 price tag buys a V12 with 400 horse, 4,963 cc, 400 horse at 6,500 RPM. Fitted with a new Scaglietti body, the California convertible retails in this country for $12,000. The V12 displaces 2,953 cc's and 260 horsepower. Or the 250 GT Berlinetta sells for $12,400, equipped with an engine identical to the California. Check these babies out. And obviously, like you guys know, I do love Ferraris. I still miss my old 308. I still wish I had it. But you want to talk about stuff that's big bucks. Everything on this page is at least 6, and some of these are 7-figure cars today. But you got to remember, the Super America, the 410 Super America at $18,500 was almost 5 new Corvettes. So, kind of crazy. So we'll check that thing out there for a second, let you guys get a good look at that. So, yeah, you want to talk about stuff that's worth a ton of money today, Those 2 pages there are worth a ton of money today. But they were a ton of money back then. Like we were talking about, people were making 75 cents an hour, $30 a week. $18,000 for a car was more than a house. So one more thing we want to look at real quick, and this will be real quick. It's a contest by Motor Trend. Win a $3,500 swimming pool or a vacation trip, plus many other valuable awards. It's easy and fun with prizes every month. Anyone can enter the Design Your Own Car contest. You could design a component like a dash. You could do a model car and submit a model car. You could do an actual custom car and send pictures of it and talk about what you did. They were looking at practicality and feasibility on these different custom designs that their readers could come up with. So that gets us to the halfway point in the magazine. Let's flip back and catch some ads. And inside the front cover, the almost obligatory, for this era at least, Lucky Strike ad. I mean, it seemed like Lucky Strike ads were in everything back then. The next ad we want to catch, not a ton of ads in this magazine because we just caught the front section. More advertising was in the back, so we will have more ads as we get into next week, since that's where the majority of the ads were at in this magazine. But there are a few cool ones, including this one. I built our Chevy as a pack horse, the iconic in today's collector car world, 1959 Chevy station wagon. Hey, Chunky Butt. The next ad, one of the world's great road cars, is inviting you to come for a trial run. Come here, Chunky Butt. Oh, yes. You want to come say hi to everybody? You want to say hi? There, you can say hi, Chunky Butt. Yes, say hi. Yes, what you doing? You shy? Are you being shy? Say hi to everybody. She doesn't get a lot of exercise in here. She's kind of chunky, so yes. Yes, you can say hi to everybody. What you think, goofball? All right, you went down. Yeah, you're not quite the showboat Gray Kitty is, are you? No, you're not. Well, say hi. Say bye to everybody. Bye-bye. Oh, there you go. All right, everybody saying hi to you. But one of the world's greatest road cars inviting you to come for a trial run. Today's best buy, tomorrow's best trade, the 1959 Plymouth with a super cool action shot of a Fury. Yep, shy kitty. She's a very shy kitty. Oh, that stinks. Mark lost his cat 2 weeks ago. That sucks. Auburn badge. And one more ad we're going to catch real quick. On the rumor mill page, the Stuart Warner Deluxe twin gauge panel, a must for safety. But the cool thing I really wanted to bring out on the Stuart Warner piece here was this, the Stuart Warner electric fuel pump. Pretty new technology for the day. So, yep, Gray Kitty sidekick. They're both sitting over there right now. Yes, we still hear you. You going to come back? So the electric fuel pump, they're again pretty new technology, but they were advertising it. It was happening in April of 1959. So that will catch the first half of the April 1959 Motor Trend with a cover price of 35 cents with a beautiful wide track 1959 Pontiac on the front cover. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. I know I had a lot of fun with it, and there is a ton more cool stuff in it coming next week. Auburn badge. So we will wrap this one up, catch the other half next week, and there's more cool stuff to come. All right. Well, you guys are digging the magazine too. Glad to see that. Glad you guys like it. And that's another thing. When I look at these magazines and look for cool stuff to point out, that's what I'm trying to find, stuff you guys are going to dig. So glad you guys like that as well. All right, on to this week's raffle, new inventory, and what's coming up for videos. And then we're going to wrap up episode number 159 of Sunday Night Live Chat. Tony, awesome, Tony. I try. The hearts are flowing out. That's cool. I'm glad you guys are having fun and enjoying what we're doing here. Like I said, bring your friends over. Let's grow it a little bit. But the Structo Trucks raffle, like we talked about last week, 1, 2, 3. First name is going to get their choice. The second name is going to get their choice. And then the third name is going to get the third one that's left. Obviously, the big one, the Structo Cattle Farms, the big semi, chrome cab, then the 2 dump trucks. This one has been repainted. This one does appear to be original paint. They are all original tires, original wheels, original decals. This one has been painted, but I don't know if they painted around the decals or put decals back on it. But super cool pieces. Can't wait for the drawing at the end of the month on April 30th. Brian, dispatch, they're classified, but they're at the back of the magazine, so they will be next week. So we will get them, but they're going to be next week. So this week, only a couple people are in right now in the big Buick oil can. But a lot of you guys didn't pay last week, so I think you're building up, to pay this week on stuff. So, I haven't even been paid for half the stuff from last week yet. So I know a lot of that's coming this week with this week's auction. So I bet next week's going to be a different situation. But Steel Ponies, Jeff is in, and Big Job are the only 2 names in the can as of right now. So pretty thin can right now. But like I said, I got a feeling it's going to start filling up. But like I said, it's going to be a cool raffle. Everybody's going to get something cool. Every name out of the can is definitely going to get a cool truck. So we've got that to look forward to April 30th. New inventory this week. Some parts. I got a whole truckload of garnish moldings. Put the pictures on Facebook. So lots of garnish moldings. I got a whole load of yesterday cans, toys, license plates. I got some cool stuff there. Buy any cars or trucks that could possibly be a build and giveaway yard party channel extravaganza. Holy cow, that would be a heck of a deal. Yard party extravaganza build and giveaway. So Jeff's got to bail off. Glad you were here, Jeff. The vehicles I picked up this week, I think are a long play. I think I'm going to keep them. Chrysler minivan from the 80s, the old boxy one. When's the last time you've seen one? I've got a couple of them in the yard. Don't really get calls for them right now, but that minivan was kind of a game changer. It wasn't kind of a game changer. It was a massive game changer. So it's mid 80s, the old square boxy Chrysler minivan. I'm going to keep it. I don't know if anybody will ever want anything off of it, but there's no seats in it. So if nothing else, I guess I can store stuff in it. So, and a couple of pickups there again, I think are going to be worth holding for the long haul. 97 Dodge Dakota, which I've got a bunch of Dakotas, so I keep all the Dakotas I get anyway. But I think those will have a following. And the first generation of the Super Duty Ford. I picked up an 01 F550 that is about as clean a body as you'll ever find. No rust, very few dings. And that 550 is a beast. So, like I said, some stuff that's going to be a longer play, but all of it I think is going to be worth keeping. Brian dispatched the 455 98 convertible is awesome. Yeah, that's a cool car. I think we may May have a deal done on that. We'll see here soon. I think we've got a deal done on that 7098 convertible. And I think it's going to be heading to a new home here shortly. So, number one's looking for a Beretta. Yeah, I would buy all the Berettas I can find. I think they're going to be worth having for sure. So that's what I did this week. What's coming up video-wise? We still got Auburn Court Duesenberg stuff. I've still got some stuff. Nope, it's not a convertible Dakota. Those were the square ones. This was the 97 when they changed body styles. I got some videos digging on the farmstead. Those are coming up. Where I dug in some trailer houses just minutes before they ripped them apart. So I got some content inside the trailer house. Then I got some content 10 minutes later when they were ripping them apart to be recycled. So that's kind of a cool video. I found a few cool things in the bar, in the trailer house, not a ton. But the end of the video is really cool. It's like, yeah, it's pretty neat. So that was fun. I've still got new inventory to get. I've still got stuff from the new yard we haven't shot yet. I've still got stuff from other salvage yards. I looked last night. I've got 13 videos in the can as of right now. So, yeah, I mean, and I've still got a bunch of new inventory we haven't even shot yet. So, a lot of cool stuff coming there as well. No, I've not got the plane yet, Mark. Just the wings. 91 Dakota short box going to become collectible. I think all of those little pickups are going to become collectible. We're already starting to see it with the loves. We're already starting to see people trying to find loves, and finding good loves is tough. Loves were very prone to rust, and finding a good, clean, solid love, very difficult. A little bit of love for Ford Courier starting to generate. The next thing is going to be the S10s and the Rangers, and they will start picking up steam. And then the Dakota came out in the later 80s, but the Dakota was such a unique, being a little bit bigger, mid-sized pickup. They had a heck of a following. What happens in the collector car world cycle-wise, what people loved back then is what comes back around. The Dakotas were a unique pickup, being a midsize, a little bit bigger than a Dakota, than an S10 or a Ranger. Obviously available with a V8, I believe, right from the beginning. So they had a heck of a niche. And I think all those little pickups are going to come back. They were super popular back in the day. They are going to be coming back around. S10s, I've been grabbing. I've got all those new takeoff beds off of S10s that I found 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. 5 new takeoff beds for 80s S10s. I grabbed them. I don't know when I'm going to sell them, but I know at some point somebody is going to want those things. So anyway, I think all that stuff's going to be worth hanging on to. But obviously, lots of cool stuff in the can. Obviously, some amazing cars from Auburn Court Duesenberg coming up yet. And this time next week, we'll know what the Bentley does and what the Cord does at Barrett Jackson Palm Beach. So, number one, the 81, 82 loves are crazy right now. The pre-S10 9-month sales window is daunting. A lot of guys race S10s. That's true as well. Eddie just saw a raccoon. Where'd you see a raccoon at? I mean, not that's bad. I mean, raccoons are kind of cool, but Eddie just saw a raccoon. Kenny, great mag. Got to get things done at home. No problem. Glad you were able to jump on for a while tonight. That's fine, Kenny. Get him on next week. Just let us know. So, give it away to us. I've actually got one of those very first S10s. In fact, it was built in 81. The build date on it is 81. I've got an S10 with a build date of 81. Addie was running some of her friends back to their apartment and saw a raccoon. So, well, that's cool. But, yep, I've got an S10 out there with a build date of 81. So, it's an early S10. But anyway, that pretty much wraps me up. That pretty much catches what we've got going tonight. Glad you guys all swung by and hung out for another full night of car chat. Were they a Suzu or something? Yeah, I believe the loves were a Suzu. So, Michael, have a good Easter and another fun night. Perfect. Glad you were here with us again tonight, Michael. And with that, I'm going to get ready to wind down. I'll keep an eye on comments here for a few more minutes as we wrap this thing up. Coming up this week, we'll try to do Toy Tuesday. Depends on what this thing does. We're going to try to do Toy Tuesday. Pete says, thanks for the great show, Johnny. The fact that you guys even compare me to Johnny Carson is just crazy to me, but I do try. I work hard on these. Like I said, I got out of here at 10 after 1 this morning. By the time I got this done, Craigslist done, eBay done for the week. And I had a bunch of stuff I had to get submitted to Old Cars Weekly. So I had to get that sent in as well to Angelo. So some more As Found by Chad. If you haven't caught any of those on their website, they do a segment called As Found by Chad, where I send in pictures of a vehicle as I found it, and then I send them pictures of a good detailed pictures of them in the yard where you can actually get around and see some of the stuff's buried in the weeds and the trees and stuff like that. So yeah, Big Job wasn't here with us tonight. Not sure what was going on there. Yeah, Tweety, that would be perfect. Just give me a shout tomorrow, and we will run through your list of what you've got and get that one wrapped up. So that will be perfect, Tweety. That would be excellent. Anytime after 8 Central, and we'll run through the list from the last few weeks and get everything squared up and caught up. So we'll attempt to do Toy Tuesday. Obviously, we've got a ton of videos in the can. We'll see what I decide to throw up tomorrow night, Wednesday, and Friday. We will shoot for Toy Tuesday. And I've also got all these toys and cans that I bought yesterday as well to add to the stack. And we haven't even gotten through the stuff from the Missouri run yet. So much less the swap meet. So we got a lot of cool stuff coming up on Toy Tuesdays. So plus I've had 1 or 2 emails on some viewer boxes that may be coming in the near future as well. Those are always super cool. So hopefully this thing cooperates and we can get one knocked out Tuesday night because we got a lot of cool stuff. And so we definitely hope to see some of you guys 7 o'clock Central Time Tuesday evening for Toy Tuesday. And as always, we hope to see you right back here, same bat channel, same bat time for Sunday Night Live Chat. Next week will be April the 16th, episode number 160. Holy cow, that's bonkers. When are you showing them the thing? Maybe next week. Because we haven't got the Big Kahuna out yet. I need to polish the Big Kahuna up. Maybe we'll do it next week. So I got all the stuff from this week already out and ready to go that we didn't get to. So we still got the Big Kahuna. That we got on the Missouri run. No skipping class this week. I couldn't. One more Auburn badge. Absolutely, guys. And we'll give you another Hudson badge to go with it. And with that, we're going to wrap up episode number 159 of Sunday Night Live Chat. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for making this a part of your weekend. Tell your friends, your family members, invite them to come over and join us and hang out. We have a great group on here. The more people we have on here, the more knowledge we have to share. I obviously don't have the answers to everything, but you guys have such a depth and a very in-depth knowledge base to help out our other viewers when they've got a question, even if I don't know it. And that's why this is such a great thing. And that's why it's called a chat. That's why it's not called Chad sitting here in front of the webcam. It's Sunday Night Live Chat with all of us sharing our knowledge and having a great time, enjoying doing what we love, old cars. So more hearts coming out. I love that, guys. Thanks. Appreciate whoever's doing that. Start brainstorming the S10 ideas for the giveaway bill. Shopcat, good night, everybody. Great times at 949 subs. Somebody hit Shopcat to get him to 950. And with that, we're going to wrap this one out. Thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate your support. You're supporting the auctions. You're supporting the raffles financially to help cover what we do here. I'm glad we can share some of this stuff, add to your collections, decorate your man caves. That's what this is all about, and getting on here and sharing our knowledge with all of the rest of the nobodies. Thanks for making this what it is. We still got t-shirts. We still got stickers. We're going to give these trucks away. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Might see some of you at Arc City this week. I don't know if we're going to make it or not. We'll see how it shakes out. And see you Tuesday, Chad. Same Chad time, same Chad channel. Okay. That took me a second, number one. That's almost a tongue twister. See you Tuesday on the same Chad time, same Chad channel. Got it. Okay. It just took me a second. I guess it's another way to put it. Thanks for being here tonight, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by. So hope to see you Tuesday night, and definitely hope to see you right back here, 7 o'clock next Sunday for Sunday Night Live Chat. Have a great week, everybody.